currently live on all platforms, Handsome, YouTube, Substack, Instagram, and TikTok. Right off the bat, Handsome Conservative, good afternoon, says never fear. Handsome Conservatives is support your local liberal. Handsome Conservative, I love you. Thank you very much. Starting the program off. Are we at war with Iran? I want to just ask you folks right off the bat in the chat, yes or no, do you believe we are at war with Iran? Now, obviously, President Trump and Netanyahu, they're still bombing them. So the bombing is not over. But are we currently at war with Iran? I'd love to get your take on that because I'm getting the answers are not consistent. The answers are not consistent to this question. People are saying yes, and some folks are saying no. For instance, in the comments, Regas Louise or something, 4309 is saying no, says this is not a war. Iran is pretty pissed. So, yeah, well, Iran is apparently they killed most of the leadership, like 40 of the top leaders. So imagine the State of the Union address where just about everybody in the building was killed. I mean, they lost most of the administration. I won't say it wouldn't be Congress, but it would, like, imagine if the entire Trump administration or Biden administration, whatever the case may be, got wiped out in a single day. It's something to that nature. They lost like 40 some odd people. Tamar says not yet. I guess what I want to ask you folks is, what is the definition of a war? If we can go through all of this and it's not considered as a war, what is your definition of a actual war? What would be the difference between what's going on now and an actual war? I'm curious because I've always interpreted conflicts like this to be. Let me ask it to you this way. Can you think of another incident where something like this is going on between two nations anywhere else in the world and it's not being referred to as a war? So I'm trying to figure that out. What is the difference between what is going on now that suggests it's not a war? Now, I see in the comments, James says a military operation. Isn't that what Russia calls their war with the Ukraine? They don't call that a war, by the way. They refer to it as a military operation. And I'm saying that because I watch some Russian content creators, and that's what they said. It's called a military operation, a special operation. That's what they're calling that. So is there any incident similar to what we're doing with Iran anywhere in the world where we call it anything else other than a war? I'd be curious. So we're going to go ahead and get the program started. We're going to be talking mainly about what's going on here. Obviously, it's going to dominate the news. So for you folks who suggest this is some sort of deflection from Epstein, it is absolutely deflecting right now. I mean, this is going to dominate the news. So if you think it's a deflection, then voila, you have your order, because this is absolutely dominating the news. Nobody's really going to be talking about the files for at least a few days. But in the era of President Trump, news moves fast. I mean, things happen and are forgotten about real quick. Remember just a week or two ago, we were talking about the video of the Obamas as primates? That's completely gone now. Remember Maduro being taken out of power in Venezuela, the drug boats? That stuff is only a few weeks ago. And nobody's discussing that whatsoever. I mean, we literally went into a country, killed a few dozen people, and took their president with us. Not even getting discussed anymore. So news moves incredibly fast under the Trump administration. I mean, that's big, to go into Venezuela and literally take out their head of state, killing the guards and everybody else in the process, and leave with the guy. Not even in the news anymore. And obviously before that, we were telling Greenland, you are about to become Americans. Not even in the news anymore. A lot of this stuff happened either this year or right before Christmas. It's amazing how fast the news moves under the Trump administration. So, looking in the comments, just real quick to let you guys know, for you folks who may be new to the viewing audience, this program is MAGA friendly, always will be, always has been. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program. This is uncensored broadcasting. So we don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their comments. Your political affiliation is of no concern. We believe in letting the people speak, no matter what side of the aisle they come from, or even if they're in the middle. You get what I'm saying? So you can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. Our comments go left of Mamdani to I'm having dinner with Q. So looking in the comments real quick, $2.99 a gallon in Central Florida. You guys are posting gas prices, $2.50. President Trump at the State of the Union address said that gas on average is what, $2.30 a gallon? Now, factcheck.org fact-checked him literally the next day and said there is, I think they said Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, had the cheapest gas average in the United States, and it was at $2.37. But factcheck.org stated that there was not a single state in America where the average price for fuel was $2.30, which is what Trump said at the State of the Union. So, and in most states, you're paying well above $2.37, what they're paying in Oklahoma. So he really did not tell the truth on that. Now, keep in mind, the State of the Union address has been almost a week ago. So gas prices have moved all around, but that was the day after the State of the Union address. Now, one single state in America had gas prices averaging at $2.30 a gallon. So looking in the comments, what is it? It says blah, blah, $4.69 in Seattle. Is gas really that high in Seattle? Shit. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about in regards to this, obviously, you know, we've lost about a half dozen military personnel because Iran did strike back. I'm asking, are we at war? I'm going to be asking that question. Are we at war with Iran? Iran did strike back. How many have you guys heard? First, I heard 3 died, and I think 8 were seriously injured, but apparently some more U.S. service personnel have passed away. So the number has went up. The number has went up. So it's under 10. I think it's about 8. I think the Iranians killed. You heard 10 traveler, but you seen them using drones and firing things. So Iran did strike back. I see in the comments, Paleo Stephen is saying only 3. Someone else said they heard 10. I heard on This Week with George Stephanopoulos this morning, 3 were killed, 5 or was it 8 were seriously injured. Seriously injured. So that they could perish, someone else could perish as well. So right now, I'm under the impression it's 3, and I see in the comments you guys are saying Fox News and Newsmax is giving you 3. So we'll say at least 3, and about another half dozen seriously injured. But I want to give you guys something for folks who are suggesting maybe that's blood on Trump's hands or whatever. There's more to this. And real quick in the comments, Gwendolyn says, "Do you think that the Republicans are mad about this? Do you think we're going to stop supporting Trump?" No. I don't think there's much that could happen that would make MAGA stop supporting Trump, period. I've brought this up before. I don't think that even what's in the Epstein files, even if there were video of Trump actually humping on a child, I do not believe that Trump is under any threat of MAGA or a large portion of conservatives leaving him. So the answer to that is no. I don't believe they're going to leave President Trump. But that doesn't mean we don't discuss the stories, because people are going to stick by their candidate of choice. What I do want to play is this story here. This is actually somewhat breaking news. I don't think all of you have heard this, but I will give you the gist of it as it plays out.
At least 20 people were shot in downtown Austin this morning, and at least 3 people are dead. Take a look. It happened behind me. The early morning 911 calls came in about reports of a shooting at Buford's, a popular bar on 6th Street in downtown Austin near Rio Grande. Police responded quickly. They say that they had engaged with the suspect, who is now dead. This is the latest that we know right now. 17 people are hurt. 14 were taken to the hospital. 3 are in critical condition, and 3 people were found at the scene dead. The mayor spoke earlier. He said,
okay, this happened in Austin, Texas this morning. Now, some of you folks may have heard this and some of you folks may have not. The reason I'm bringing this up is news reports just came in right before I went live. This is tied to Iran. This is actually tied to Iran. This is what's coming in from Fox News, has obtained a photo of the Austin, Texas mass shooter armed and wearing a shirt that says property of Allah. He has not been identified by authorities, but multiple federal law enforcement tell Fox he is a 53-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in Senegal and was living in Pflugerville, Texas. I'm also told he was wearing an undershirt that had an Iranian flag on it. This just happened this morning. So this does appear that you can add this on to the tally of casualties from what's going on. You know, now remember, there's been reports that, and by the way, I'll see if I can blow this up. This is what looks like it's from Senegal, so he's a black man. You see him there, picture carrying what looks like a long rifle. This is a very grainy photo. There's nothing I can do about the clarity of it because this is on X and it's not clear on X, but he's clearly wearing a hoodie, what looks like a gray hoodie with a big sign on it that says property of Allah. You can't see it really well on the monitors because, like I said, the photo is very grainy, but he looks to be either very short cut or even bald like I am. He's wearing camo pants, gray hoodie. Like I said, it says property of Allah. And he's carrying a long rifle. Can't tell what type of rifle, but he's carrying a long rifle. Now, he's naturalized, so he's here legally. He is a naturalized citizen. Under the Trump administration, he's getting deported. I don't give a fuck. He's naturalized, so he became a citizen. They're going to find a way to deport dude, but it don't matter anyway. He's killed enough people that he's going to be incarcerated for the rest of his life. So, but that is tied to what happened in Iran. So, you talk about sleeper cells, whatever you want to call them, but that is tied to that. Blue One Banks. Appreciate the galaxy that started out. By the way, help your boy out, folks, with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goal. We always appreciate the support. But that's the question we're asking is, are we at war with Iran or is it something else? So I'll go straight to the comment section because this is obviously dominating the news. Like I said, I'm looking right now on Fox, and the Australian Prime Minister is also speaking on this. I don't think most of the free world favors what Trump and Netanyahu did. I have not heard a significant amount of support for what Trump and Netanyahu did. Now, when Iran started responding by hitting targets in other Middle Eastern countries, some support came from that. But before, when we were building assets around Iran, there was not a lot of support for going into Iran. There was not a lot of support coming from the European theater, NATO member nations, or anything, even in the Middle East. Now, the Saudis are like, yeah, because Iran has hit targets in our country, we don't like them now. But they weren't crying out for America to go into Iran before we struck them yesterday. So I don't think there is a lot of support for what we did. But we'll see how it goes in the interim. So looking in the comments, we knew this retaliation was coming, says Rick Moore. That's mild. Now, this guy hit a lot of people, but so far he's only taken out a handful. Depends on how many of these mass casualty events happen. Let's see how many of these happen. This is simply a distraction from the Epstein files and to cancel midterms by declaring an emergency. Joe, I want you to be wrong, Joe. I want you to be wrong. I don't want this to be a distraction to try to declare some kind of emergency for the midterms. I want you to be wrong, but there's no way in hell I'm going to say I feel confident you are. There's no way in hell I'm going to say I feel confident because they already are flirting with declaring voting emergencies and things like that. They're kind of saying it already. So it's kind of a matter of what emergency they're going to use. But it's pretty clear that come midterms, Trump is going to declare some sort of emergency that leads him to do something executive wise. We just don't know what it's going to be, but they've already indicated that. Let me go straight to the box. Paleo Steven, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. I got to make sure the audio's up here. Don't know if my guest came up. We had problems yesterday. Don't know. I think that's exactly what Trump is doing. So you also agree that you believe that Trump also is just throwing out distractions so that he can finagle the midterms and prevent people from voting? Is that what you're telling me? I don't know what happened with my last caller, but we'll go to Love to Cruise, one of my subscribers. See what happens here. He fucks. I'll say he F's kids. This is what's on Instagram. He F's kids. He hates women, brown people, and anyone who isn't a billionaire fixer for him. He's a piece of shit that suits his pants, but I'm thinking he probably means something else. Soils probably, but he's a piece of shit that suits his pants and should be in a nursing home, not the White House. Fuck MAGA. And that's coming from Cutie Missy. Wow, Cutie. That's a hell of a statement. Okay, Love the Cruise, good evening or good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on?
Shit, Iran.
Do you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, no shit. And that guy who said you read his thing saying about the midterms, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
So you too.
I believe Trump is doing that. So
what exactly do you think he's going to do in regards to the midterms?
Like you said, he's going to call martial law, or he's going to find some way to mess over the election.
Now
he's going to mess with the voting, should I say?
Now, if you recall, during the 2020 election, MAGA is strongly in favor of free and fair elections. If he starts messing with the election, do you think MAGA would tolerate that?
Man, MAGA's full of shit. Yeah, they'll tolerate it. They tolerate anything that man does. You know, they didn't tolerate men messing with girls until he started messing with them. I seen this.
Oh my God.
I seen the short you put out where the guy said, I wouldn't care if he messed with 100 girls. Just let him do his job.
Yeah.
And that's the way they feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the guy said.
Yeah. And like I said, that's why I strongly believe that the support for Trump is unwavering. It does not matter what he's done in the past with, women or kids or whatever. That support ain't going nowhere.
Well, I think I think what you're doing is you're overestimating MAGA. Now, I think, what is MAGA, 30%?
No, I'm not over. You said I'm overestimating the percentage of voters that are MAGA. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
what I'm leading to is this. I only think it's like 15 to 20% that are really hardcore, whatever Trump does.
Right.
Kiss his ass, I wipe his ass, when he farts it don't stink. That type.
Okay.
I do believe in MAGA. I have to believe this, man. I have to believe this. That there's some good. And even on your show, there have been some people who said they used to vote MAGA and now they left it alone. So I think his percentage of MAGA is dropping.
Well, and I'm not gonna argue with that, but what I'm gonna say is this. Even with some diehard Trump supporters that may be dropping, you still got to take in consideration who the liberals put up to run against whoever candidate Trump supports, because if Trump is pushing J.D. Vance or if he's pushing Marco Rubio or somebody like that, and the Democrats come up there with Gavin or somebody who's too far to the left, they still may say, listen, I don't agree with everything Trump did. And by the way, J.D. Vance is not likely to be, do the same as Trump. I'm still going to pick J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio over Gavin Newsom, who destroyed California or something like that. So you don't have to have diehard support. What I'm saying is there are plenty of non-MAGA Republicans that would still either vote for Trump or a candidate he chooses.
Well, this is where I disagree with you at. And my man Mike, if you're on here, Mike the Boss is a bad man.
Yeah.
Because he was the one who told, I think he was the one who mentioned it yesterday, with all the special elections and everything, Democrats are 155-3.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, what you say may be true, but I think people just, especially with this war, man, this is, there's three armed people, three soldiers killed this morning. This guy shooting people. People aren't going to take to that too lightly, even the Republicans.
Well, but we also are freeing, or at the very least on the cusp of freeing a bunch of oppressed people, which is something liberals were talking about free Gaza. A lot of the liberals would be in favor of helping free the people of Iran. Now, I don't believe Trump is going to go that far with it because he's telling them to rise up and take back their freedom. Now, if Trump started helping them, I think he may actually start getting a few progressives to look his way.
I doubt it. Look here, man. Trump is not going that route. You remember COVID?
Yeah.
The man knew about COVID in January. And instead of going ahead and work on it and stopping it, he wanted to make sure the economy was great, so he sacrificed American lives. And this is going to be the same thing here.
How do you say what did he do to make you indicate that he sacrificed American lives, though?
The fact that he could have got on COVID in January instead of waiting to April and May to go ahead, and then call it Operation Warp Speed. Well, it wouldn't have had to been called that if you had jumped on it at first. It wouldn't have to be Warp Speed. It could have been done early. Could have saved thousands of lives. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure most of the people in America, somebody in your family got touched by COVID.
Yeah. Most Americans.
And all this could have been stopped. But you're doing this just so you can get votes, so you can run. You don't give a fuck about the American people. And I don't see why MAGA doesn't care about to see that, because he don't care about them. We're all sacrificial lambs unless you're a billionaire with him.
Yeah, but MAGA sees it like this. The liberals are going crazy with the promotion of LGBTQ issues on kids. They were letting anybody in the country, which could be a danger to folks. This is the way MAGA sees it. You're letting all kinds of unvetted people in. And remember, they believe these people are coming from prisons and insane asylums. So they believe that most of the illegal immigrants in this country were either coming to live off of our resources or kill Americans. So, you can say what you want about Trump, but it don't come across, they don't see him as bad as any liberal that's allowing that.
What you said was believe. Yeah. We're not talking about facts. This is what they believe. This is what they were told. And they didn't bother to check it out. I mean, come on. Yeah, did Biden do a fucked up job with immigration on the border? Absolutely. I'm the first one to say that. And I voted for Biden.
But I still got liberals. I still have liberals coming on the program, like Gangsta Grandma and some, who are suggesting that under Trump, the border is no more secure than it was under Biden. I still have liberals saying that.
I disagree with that.
Right.
Everybody can have their opinion, but you can tell. I mean, they were shipping busloads of them from Texas to go to New York and other. Come on now. I mean, these are busloads of.
Well, but that was actually being done by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. That wasn't being done by the liberals. That was being done by.
No, what I'm saying is the fact that you're able to ship them. Let you know how many people were actually coming in. Yeah. Now, how many busloads have you seen coming since Trump cracked down on the border?
Oh shit! I don't. They not the Trump administration. If you come from south of the border, any of those countries, you have almost probably like a 0% chance of being allowed to stay. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what your health is. I don't even care if you got knowledge. I mean, they pretty much just banned everything from south of the border from coming here.
You're right. And so is Trump my president? No. But I do have to respect the office of the presidency.
How is he not your president?
I didn't vote for him.
That don't mean nothing. If you met somebody who lived in Italy and they asked, who's your president over there? You would say Trump. He's your president. You just didn't vote for him.
I just said I have to respect the office of the presidency.
But you also have to admit he's your president. He's just
No,
not your choice.
I don't have to admit that. I don't have to admit that.
So who is your president right now?
Huh?
Who is your president?
I don't have a president.
So you're an American. So America has no government right now.
Hey, I am a ship with no captain.
Okay. That sounds pretty resentful.
If they say if you ask me who is the president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Okay. And what country are you from, sir?
I'm from the United States.
Okay, then. So he is your president. You can say it with me. He's your president.
We're tomato. All right.
Okay. All right.
I didn't vote for him. So no, and I don't like what he's doing. I don't like, and he had a chance to correct me. He had a chance. And I'm not closed-minded, or just, whatever Trump does is wrong. But damn it, Tim, you've been fucking up.
Well, I'm hearing the Dow, from it's Pam Bondi, who shouldn't even be talking about the Dow, but she's talking about the Dow's doing. In fact, on paper, the stock market is doing well. It's just not something that affects the lower class. But on paper, the stock market is actually doing well.
Well, it was doing well.
Not the stock market, but the economy, rather. The economy.
The stock market, everything was doing well under Biden, but that wasn't enough. That didn't touch everybody. Everybody was going, and true, food. It's crazy. How much food costs? Do you realize how many restaurants are gone out of business?
I haven't heard that. I mean, I know the price of food, price of groceries hasn't come down significantly, but I don't recall it being so bad where Americans are starving to death. I mean,
here, I'm not saying starving. I'm just saying the price of food here in Ohio. Kroger's. I don't know if you ever heard of Kroger's.
Yeah, the grocery chain. Yeah,
they're closing 60 stores,
and that is because of what?
Prices.
60 stores. They're blaming that on grocery prices, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, where they only keep the mega Kroger's open. The other ones that weren't up to par but were still maintaining, they kept those around, but now they're closing all those, 60 of them.
I have not heard of that. 60 stores, and they're blaming it on prices. I mean, I'm surprised the liberals haven't ran with that. That's a huge story. If they're blaming that on Trump's economy, that's a huge story.
Man, my beloved Popeyes closing stores. Restaurants rather. Yeah. It's crazy. And all this isn't because the economy is so good. Like he says, it's because the food is outrageous.
I mean, I get that, but what I'm saying, we're only, what is this, the third month? So we're only 8 months, a little bit less than 8 months until the midterms just about. This is where I give President Trump credit in terms of his campaign. I give Trump credit because he knows how to campaign. You should have liberals in the parking lot of a Kroger's that's closing. I mean, I don't care, even if it's somebody as far away that has nothing to do with it, like somebody like Jasmine Crockett. I think they do have Kroger's in Texas, wherever the case may be. You should have national politicians running for office doing campaign ads in that parking lot. That's something Trump would do. He damn near would hold a rally in a Kroger's parking lot. That should keep coming up. 60 stores, all of those jobs, all of those people that can't shop there, those stores are being lost in their neighborhoods. That's something the Democrats should be throwing everywhere. If what you're saying is true, that should be everywhere.
Well, that's a possibility and probability, and it is something that the Democrats don't do well, is blow the horn. They're more settled back, and you're right. Jasmine blows enough where she can go up there and really make noise, but the rest of them don't make noise, except for Gavin Newsom. He makes noise.
Appreciate that, Blue One. How about this, though? Because in the comments, they're disagreeing with you, Cruz. They're saying that you're lying about why the prices are closing. Even Trade Alliance says you don't close stores for high prices. So they're suggesting that this whole Kroger thing you're bringing up is there's more to the story. You sure this is in regards to prices?
Wait a minute. This is in Ohio. I don't know if Lyons is in Ohio with his lion ass, but this is in Ohio, okay? We're talking about Ohio. I ain't talking about, and I'm sure that it might be more to it, but I'm looking at a left-wing news company I read this on. So yeah, they might be blaming on prices, and they didn't go to the fine print. So yeah, it might be more.
I mean, if they're closing 60 stores, they should go to the CEO of Kroger. I mean, he has had to have told the stockholders or shareholders a reason why they're doing that. I mean, that should be able to be easily found, whatever excuse they're giving, because closing, 60 stores is a lot. That's a lot of jobs.
Yeah, in Ohio, you're right. Kroger's is, if I'm not mistaken, they're number 1 or number 2 in Ohio here.
Yeah, that's a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, in regards to this whole deal, do you see it? Because some folks, this whole notion was what happened in No New Wars. You see what's on the screen. Because President Trump campaigned on, if I was president, a lot of these wars would not have happened. He's claiming to have ended 8 wars. Do you see what's going on right now between America and Iran as a war?
Absolutely.
Why?
You killed their prime minister, their leader. You bombed them. You bombed the school with 51 girls in there. Now, if this isn't a war, I don't want to see a war.
So then, if you're bringing up them taking out the leader of Iran, did you see the conflict between America and Venezuela as a war?
Yes, minor war. And you know what? Let me take that back. Venezuela was a conflict because
Go ahead.
We just bullied the hell out of them. Okay, but this is going to be a war because Iran is not Venezuela. So this is going to be a war.
So if you go and perform military strikes on a country that's too weak to fight back, it gets thrown in the conflict pile.
It depends on if we do Cuba, that's a conflict. Okay, we do South Korea, whatever, that's a war. North Korea, whatever.
What is give me how you're differentiating between a conflict and a war.
I'm different on their army.
That's what I'm saying. So if a juggernaut country like America attacks a really small country that has virtually no army, then it's just a conflict.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. I to me, if you're using your military to blow shit up and kill people, I don't see how that's not a war. Just because they came, it's like if you go and hit an old lady, that's a fight. She might not be able to fight back, but you're getting in a fight with her.
Okay, let me use an example. You're a Bears fan, right?
Yes.
For a while there, the Packers have been kicking y'all ass.
30 years or more.
That wasn't no longer a rivalry.
It's still a rivalry. We still hate them, but they got our number.
But it wasn't a rivalry because you guys weren't winning. Now that you're winning, it's a rivalry again because you have the chance of winning. If you don't have a chance of winning, that's a conflict.
I gotta disagree. Based on what you're talking about, you would put Mike Tyson in his prime, winning fights in the first round. That ain't a fight because he knocked you out in the first round. It's still a fight. It's just lopsided. The rivalry between the Bears and Packers is lopsided.
It was called a fight. You know damn well that wasn't no fight with Big Mike.
It's a fight. You're throwing punches and getting your ass kicked quickly, but it is still a fight.
Only one person was throwing punches.
You drive a hard bargain. I gotta move it on. I didn't set the timer right, but go ahead.
I gotta say this. I used to be on MAGA about being a cult until I became a part of a cult.
Explain.
I'm with the handsome liberal cult.
I got a cult following, really?
Wait, when handsome liberal says subscribe, I subscribe. It says send hats, I send a punk ass hat.
Oh my God.
You tap the screen. And you're supposed to do all of this that when you request to come up, you got a chance of coming up. I've been trying to come up since Super Bowl.
No, you're making me feel bad. You're making me feel bad. I definitely pay attention to that, and
You should feel bad, man. You should feel bad.
I commend all my cult following to send a galaxy. Look at the screen, you see. All right, Leonard Cruz, I got you covered. I got your back. I got your back. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. That was hilarious. Tap the screen. Hey, I got a code following. I command all you to send galaxy. Thank you for the TikTok captor travel, man. Looking in the comments here, I'm a Republican. No judgment. Things are just going too far. God bless America. Thank you for that Galaxy Blue one. Banks. Got one follower. Appreciate that. Thank you. When you say things are gone too far there, Stacy, I think that's it. Stacy McQueen, I don't have my glasses on. When you say things have gone too far, I would like to get an elaboration from some of the folks on the right that does say that. I'm gonna be really jacked up if I don't find my glasses around here, but we'll see if we can continue. But what sacrifice is Trump willing to take? Your sons and daughters, not his. Wow. I mean, that ain't something unique to Trump, though. I mean, the fact is, most of our leaders, George W. Bush sent us to war for 20 years. None of his family made any sacrifices. So that ain't something. I get what you're saying. I'm not taking away from what you're stating, but that's not something that's just unique to Trump. Most presidents send you to war and they don't take sacrifices. She is definitely the only Republican I heard talk like that. No, John, in the comments here, you're responding to Stacy saying I'm a Republican, no judgment. Things are just going too far. Now, you really have not heard one other Republican say that in regards to ICE in Minnesota. There's plenty of Republicans that think he went too far in that. There's plenty of Republicans that think he's went too far in how he's handling the Epstein files. There are Republicans that are unhappy with President Trump in many areas. That doesn't mean they're not going to still support him. The response may be something to the notion of he went too far in this area, or I don't always agree with what he's doing over here. But the Democrats want to destroy America. So it's kind of the lesser of two evils. So even though I wish he didn't do this, or I wish he would stop doing that, or I wish he would, I'm still going to vote for him because the Democrats are going to destroy the country. So yeah, there's plenty of Republicans that see parts of Trump that they don't. If you're looking at a president right now, Trump's been in office, 5 years total? A little bit over 5 years. You don't see, he's perfect. He hasn't done anything wrong at all to complain about. He's been perfect for the 5 years. No. So that's where the calling of a cult comes into play. I mean, when you're talking about Obama, you're talking about Biden, you don't hear the liberals say, well, he ain't done nothing wrong at all. You just don't hear that. I mean, there's got to be something there you don't agree with. No president is perfect. Yeah, I agree with that. Followed by Alec Gonzalez, who says this guy is ignorant. Alec, you got more room to type than that. This is uncensored programming. You can actually type your insult in, and I'll read it out. We don't block, ban, or censor you. You can criticize the host. Type a little bit more in than just this guy is ignorant. Feel free to elaborate on it. I'll leave it open for you. Let me go back to the box. We'll start out with Travelman. Good evening, Travelman. If Kamala was elected, 3 soldiers would still be alive today. Do you agree with that, Rob?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay.
If Kamala was alive...
What's the subject today?
Look at the monitor. You see what's...
That's funny.
Are we at war with Iran, in your opinion?
Well, then we just attack a sovereign country?
Yeah.
Over a lie? Over a lie? Sounds familiar?
What is the lie?
Well, the ballistic missiles they're developing will soon be able to reach the United States. That's about 10 years away.
So, right. Wait. So you don't believe they were actually working on obtaining a nuclear weapon?
I thought the nuclear weapons capability was obliterated back in June.
That's what Trump said. That is what Trump said.
So if it was obliterated, how could they be working on one?
I guess it was obliterated. They started again with extreme precision, and they were almost complete.
Not according to the IEAI, whatever the name of it is. They say they saw no evidence of that.
Yeah.
The international nuclear people that go around and do the surveys and stuff, they say they saw no evidence of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say that when they sent that many assets to the region, that many ships, 10% of the United States Navy was deployed in this one event.
Turn left on West Washington Street. Then turn left on South Chappelle Street.
Your GPS is really loud. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, hold on a minute. It costs about $8 million a day to fund the aircraft carrier battle group.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of them out there, not to mention squadrons of jets, fighter jets.
Yeah.
So it became quite expensive. So once you realize you got all that out there, something was going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Once we sent all that stuff out there, any claim that we were negotiating with Iran and all of that, and they had to, their fate was sealed. We were going to attack them eventually, no matter what they said at the negotiating table. It was over with. Because when you hear what Trump gives as a reason for why it made sense to take out their head of state, he was oppressive, he was a dictator. He's going all the way back to the bombing in Grenada in 1983. So why are you negotiating with the guy? You know what I mean? This guy's not about to talk his way out of this. You're about to kill this dude.
So the question is, where is the imminent threat?
They believe Iran the Iranians are state sponsors of terror, and they were trying to develop a nuclear weapon that could hit the United States. That's what they're saying the threat was.
But they provide no information to corroborate that, you know.
Well,
you got the international group that goes in and do the surveys of the sites and stuff, and they say there was no evidence whatsoever that Iran was working to reconstitute their nuclear program. Yeah. Let me rephrase that: their nuclear weapon program. They stated all along that their nuclear program was for
energy,
private use energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you raised an interesting point. I got to get MAGA on here because I want to hear their take on that. I would love to hear from some Trump supporters in regards to their take on the fact that the international community were saying that Iran was not developing a nuclear weapon to the level what the Trump and Netanyahu administrations were. I'd have to hear how, because and you're right also in suggesting that Trump did not prove that. Even Colin Powell got on TV and allegedly showed us weapons of mass destruction in these trucks or whatever. Trump ain't even make an effort to prove it. Just boom, we're gonna just blow it up.
He hasn't done anything, provided any information as far as justification to launching bombs and missiles into Iran, except for the couple of lies that he told, which was they were developing a ballistic missile. My question on that is, a whole lot of countries got ballistic missiles. It's already been proven that, yes, they have capability to send objects into space, but they have not perfected the re-entry vehicle, which they would need for a ballistic missile. So that part, they say they're about 10 years away from being able to produce a missile that could reach the United States. Okay, now that part, that there's no doubt about that. But when are we to tell countries that they can't have ballistic missiles? Okay, now we passed the nuclear part, and now we're into ballistic missile part. Okay, now and Iran also were open to more talks. I'm not a fan of them. I was in the Marine Corps when they took the hostages. People fail to realize we're doing regime change, and go back and take a look at the last time we did regime change in Iran. The regime change that we did in Iran in 1953, I think it was, resulted in the Shah being elevated to rule Iran, which resulted in the Iranian hostage crisis in 1979.
I mean, aren't we also partially responsible for Saddam Hussein's rise to power?
Yeah, we backed Saddam Hussein during the war between Iraq and Iran. Remember, they fought for 10 years.
Yeah.
So we back that up. And I'm going to tell you right now, you get whoever MAGA you get on here, it doesn't matter because
95% of them suffer from head up Trump's ass syndrome. So they gonna agree with whatever he did. They gonna somehow twist themselves into pretzel logic to justify
in 0.2
what
miles.
he's doing.
Use the left lane to
You got
exit
your
left.
GPS is real loud. I'm
good. Hold on a minute.
Yeah. And what he is saying, we tend to do that. We put in leaders, and when they don't bow down and kiss the ass of the United States, we then suggest they are a problem. Keep in mind the Taliban in Afghanistan that we were just dealing with a few years ago. We also helped them out in their war against the Russians in the 1980s as well. So we do have a history of backing most of these leaders that we claim are a problem in our lifetime. The generation before us, we were actually helping them out. So I don't know how.
They made a movie about it. When the Charlie's War or something like that.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
I think Tom Hanks played the guy. It was a guy in Congress. He was the one that was getting the weapons over to the Taliban.
Yeah, I mean, we have a history that even the cartel members and all them folks that are south of the border, we've helped a lot of them folks out too.
So let me ask you this. Okay, they just took out a significant number of Iranian leaders.
Like 40.
Okay.
Like 40.
What's the plan?
Well, the plan is exactly what you mentioned earlier, just a minute ago, regime change. So we're going to probably do our best behind the scenes to make sure whoever's governing Iran is Western friendly. And then that person is going to be kind of like a Hamid Karzai in Afghanistan. You can put in somebody that America likes, the Israelis like, but the people of Iran does not like.
Okay, and let me tell you who they lined up right now.
Who?
They got the Shah's son is the most likely guy that they're trying to put in there.
Why the hell would they do that?
He's the guy that they're talking about right now. He calls himself a prince in exile. So right now he's the leading candidate. Now, what makes them think that the people of Iran want to put the son of a dictator that killed their people and they deposed of themselves? They ran him out of the country.
But
they ran him back to the United States.
And oddly enough, even though I didn't know what you just said, I pretty much described it. I said somebody that is going to be pro-Western, and the people are not going to like him. I mean, that's kind of what you're describing. Yeah. That's kind of in Takesha in the comments. You say let it go. What are you watching? Frozen over there? What are you telling me to let go? And thank you, gangsta grandma, for that galaxy. What am I not letting go? Go ahead.
Anytime you call Trump out or anything that he does something stupid, they don't like when you bring attention to it. So they want you to let it go. But I think this is like the 8th time that this guy has used military force since he's been back in office.
Yeah.
And you're talking about somebody, basically Commandant Bone Spurs, because he's never been to war. He actually got a fake deferral written by a doctor that was friends with his father. But he's quick to say that we might get casualties. By the way, you got 3 military members was unalive today.
You talking about,
yeah. See some flights coming. You will see some flights coming in the door and the caskets coming off the plane.
Yeah, you're talking about we lost 3 people in regards to the Iranian retaliation.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. 3. We lost 3, and I forget how many was injured.
Well, I mean, I suppose for taking out an oppressive leader in Iran, some are going to say 3 is a small price to pay.
What if we get somebody worse?
That's probably going to happen. It'll just be in our children's generation, but that's likely what's going to end up happening. But it won't become a major problem. It probably won't become a major problem for 20 years or so. But that's what's going to end up happening. You sound like you breaking up.
All right, Tim, I got to roll, man.
All right, I appreciate it. Moving on with the program. Thank you, Travelman. Real quick, just looking. I was trying to see if I could show all the nations that Trump has attacked. Now, they got a map here that shows nations he attacked and nations he threatened. So he's threatened nations, and they don't list Canada as a nation he threatened, even though he talked about making them the 51st state or whatever. But these are nations, and I see somebody in the comments says he liberated them. He liberated Yemen? You really think he's liberated Yemen? You think he's liberated Syria? What are you talking about? You just making this up as you go along? Ain't nobody in Yemen been liberated. So all of these nations, there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me all of these nations feature liberated people. Here's the nations he's attacked. This is what they list. But I guess what is it? 2, 4. They got 6 here that he's attacked, and Iran is in this list. Iran is in this list already. Somalia, which has not been liberated, by the way. Neither is Iran. Syria. He also had Iraq. What are we attacking Iraq? Iraq is listed here. And then they got, of course, Venezuela. Threatened is Colombia, Mexico, and Greenland. There's some more nations missing in this. I'm not for sure. I don't know when this was created, but there are more nations out there. We don't need to be over there spending billions on this war. Remember, no new wars. Well, apparently the no new wars thing has been, let bygones be bygones. I thank you, Lewis, for the TikTok cap. I don't think the no new wars thing. To me, I'm gonna put that down there. If you vote for Trump, you'll get to the bottom of the Epstein list. I don't believe it was ever an intention to do so. I don't think it was ever an intention to be to operate from a platform of no new wars. I think that's just something we were told. I don't think that was ever to go. And as I think I talked to Mike, one of the viewers on the program, he claims that the attack of Iran is even part of Project 2025. So something that was already pre-planned. Anyway, looking in the comments, L. Jenny says, proofread your comment made no sense. What are you talking about? Which comment? Let me know. Trump has gotten away with too much. The world would be better off without him. Damn. What are you suggesting? You want him to be rolling with Khomeini in Iran? You want him to be hanging out with him? We have no boots on the ground, therefore it's not a war. Really? So when Bin Laden took out the World Trade Center because nobody was on the ground here in America, they didn't declare war on us? That's not. Well, you guys, look, let me give you a couple phrases before I go to the next caller. You ever heard of the term enemy combatants? How about insurgents? What about the phrase coalition of the willing? Anyone that was around paying attention to the news during the Iraq War has heard these phrases. You didn't hear about them before the Iraq War. You go back during the Vietnam War, you go back during World War II, you had never heard of the phrase insurgent. You had never heard of the phrase coalition of the willing, which is basically just allies. But because we couldn't get proper allies to co-sign us going into Iraq, we forgave debt and things like that and called it the coalition of the willing. This is what happened under the Bush administration. My opinion is that's what's starting to happen now. Again, is that we do not want to call a spade a spade. So we're creating new terms and new words to describe what is obviously happening. It's not a war, it's a conflict. The fuck is that? What other nations around the world has ever done what we're doing right now, and we refer to it as a conflict, where two nations are destroying property and killing each other and everything? We called it a conflict. It's a war. Well, there's no boots on the ground, so that's all it takes. No, it's a war, period. So you don't need to put boots on the ground in a high-tech environment that we have in 2026. You can destroy most of a nation now without putting boots on the ground. So that means it's not a war. So the definition of war is being changed by those who don't want to admit what it really is. That's all. And by the way, before I go to the next call, I want you to hear something, because I think for those who continue to suggest it's not a war, I want you to hear from the actual president himself, because I think he kind of states what we need to be discussing, and this is from the whole being in a conflict terminology.
statement lightly. The Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is.
So he's calling it a war. He himself just said lives may be lost as what happens in war. He's calling it a war. He could have said a conflict. You know, he could have threw that in. He himself is even referred to it as a war. So I'm not, look, the clip, anytime you play something Trump says, you get the inevitable. Well, let's hear the whole thing. This speech is like 20 fucking minutes long. I'm not about to play all of that. He clearly says, not to mention, as somebody rightfully pointed out, it's called, the Department of War is what backed all of this. But yeah, I mean, anytime Trump says something, when Biden said, vote for me or you ain't black, not one MAGA said, well, let's hear the whole thing. When Beto O'Rourke said, you're damn right, I'm going to take your air. Well, let's hear the whole thing. I don't know why anytime Trump says something, you need to hear 20, 30 more minutes of it to make it make sense. I've always found that to be kind of comical. Like, he's the only president we've ever had that anytime he says something, you need to hear 30 minutes of it for it to make sense. Everybody else, we can go with the snippet. That's all we need to hear. We can go when Kamala Harris said, I wouldn't do anything different from Biden. We don't need to hear the whole thing. This is good enough. But when it comes to Trump, we need to hear 30, 40 minutes to make it make sense. Anyway, let me go back to the box. Well, like I said, that comes up a lot. We need to hear the whole thing. Again, does that say Gandolfini? And Biden apologized right away. True. That is true. Good evening or good afternoon.
Oh, my God. You being nice to me today, Uncle Ruckus?
I'm always nice to my guests. What are you talking about?
No, you're not. You better not kiss ass today. And and let me tell you something. I'm on some real shit today. We lost three members of the United, members. We lost 3 of them for something we shouldn't even be over there for.
But we took out an oppressive regime. Maybe
I don't give a damn. We took out why do we have to be the po-pos of the world? I thought it was America first.
But what about the notion that we may have saved countless Iranian lives from this oppressive regime?
Oh my! You know what? I'm so sick of your ass caping for the white man. I am so sick of you. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. 3 service people died. I don't know if they are women or men, but they died. Okay, they're gone. 3 wives, 3 husbands, the mothers. The whole world is crashed. And you're worried about, we're keeping, we're saving other people. We need to save our damn selves.
Well, how about this? In the comments, a better view of everything says we just saved hundreds of thousands of people's lives. What say you?
I don't get. Why do we have to go save other people when we can't even save our damn selves? We cannot save ourselves. We are under a damn dictatorship. We have our rights are being taken left and right. Like, we can't have a baby unless we're dying on a damn table. No. Fuck that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fuck that. That's America first.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but if he stepped outside of the America First mantra and actually save hundreds of thousands of lives, that's not a good thing.
I'm not worried about their asses. I'm not worried about Palestine. I'm not worried about Gaza. I'm worried about our asses. We need to worry about our asses, about our Medicare, our Medicaid. Quit giving our shit to the other damn people.
Then if you're going to suggest you're not worried about quote unquote their asses, we need to worry about our asses, then how the hell you gonna say that and then turn around and criticize MAGA when they say the same damn thing as ISIS hauling away their asses?
What are you talking about, fool?
You don't.
You got that coming out your fucking
No,
mouth.
I'm listening to you.
No, you ain't doing. You're not gaslighting me. Not today, nigga. Not today. Not today. You are not doing it today. I'm not high, and you ain't fucking with me. Not today.
No, I'm not.
I can't even want blood today messing with you. But let me tell you something. We lost 3 people today. This morning.
I'm hearing
for a damn war that we shouldn't even be in. Okay? He didn't even have Congress's approval, you numb nut. So don't go there with me. And then The sleeper cells are coming out to play now. They already pew-pewed what? Innocent people?
Yeah, I'm aware.
You know what I mean?
I'm aware of
Innocent
that.
people? Do you think it's going to stop? No, it's just the beginning. All hell's going to break.
But I'm listening to your words. I asked you about potentially saving hundreds of thousands of Iranian lives. Hold on, hang on. Let me respond. I asked you about the potential of Trump actually saving at least thousands of Iranian lives from an oppressive government. Your response was, can I get the sentence out? You can respond to it.
Who's going to save our black asses?
That ain't what you didn't hear what I'm asking you. You're not hearing. All you're doing is you're just going on and on. You're not hearing. You're just talking. What I'm saying is,
you can't talk with the because you're on your knees.
Okay, well then listen, then bend over and bend down and listen to me. I'm on my knees. What I'm saying is, if Trump is saving thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of lives, and you respond with, "I don't give a damn about those folks," then when ICE is hauling away foreigners, and you cry out about ISIS mistreating them, how can you fault MAGA for saying we don't give a damn about them?
Okay, you know what, you stupid, you know what, nigger today.
Okay, wait, don't get the damn profile taken down.
Let me tell you something. I can't stand your ugly, bald-headed, fruity-looking ass. Let me tell you this. ICE is with us, okay? They're taking us away. We have to fight them. We should not be over there fighting Iran. Why? Why do we have to go over there and fight them? We need to fight them on our soil. Like, the ICE? Yes. We're black and brown people? Yes. What are you talking about, Willis?
You're not. What you're saying is.
We do not need to be over there. We do not need to be the United States popo for every other country. We do not need to be over there. In 2018, he told them he took the what is that called? What Obama did, took their, what is that damn shit called, the weapons? He undid that shit. Trump did. Now he's over here again, trying to fight them for what, Willis?
I'm going to take out the beloved MAGA hat and say from this point on, you have no credibility to criticize MAGA. You're saying the same shit.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You're saying the same.
ICE is on our soil, you nut.
You're saying the same.
Pathetic you are. Get off the fucking knees for the white man. Get off your knees for the white. ICE is on our soil, you numb nut. They're in our territory, you numb nut. We're fighting them, you numb nut. We're not ISIS or whatever the fuck you want to call their asses. I'm not in Iraq or whatever the fuck we're at over there. You know what? Why are we over there overseas? Why are we in the Middle East, you numb nut? That's how stupid you sound like.
You're just going on and on. But you're still doing it. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now.
3 people that got unalived already, Tim. 3. None of them should have been unalived, you numbnuts. Okay. None of them. Okay? None of them should have been on there.
You're just at this point. You're just talking to yourself. You're going on and on.
Oh my God!
Anytime you hear a count, you're just talking over. You're just going on and on. But you have no credibility whatsoever to criticize.
What are you talking about?
If you would actually listen, you're asking me what I'm talking about because you've been talking the whole time. You're not listening to a damn thing.
I did. I told
you. No, you haven't. You're not listening to shit. You're just talking over and over. God. You're talking over and over.
You're a special ed dropout.
Okay.
Your mama should have fucking swallowed you. You're a waste of a fucking nut. I see why you're gonna get down with a crackhead. On God. I really fucking damn do. Because you don't even understand what the fuck I'm saying.
You're still doing it. You're still doing it.
We're fighting.
You're still doing it.
Fighting.
You're still doing it.
Over here.
You're just going on and on. I get that you're passionate, but you're not entertaining even hearing you. You're just talking over and over. The point I'm making is, just like you're saying, you don't give a damn about innocent Iranians that may be getting oppressed. MAGA is saying the same thing about it's not America's place to take in anybody that wants to claim asylum. And you're against what they're saying, but saying the same shit in reverse.
It's not the fucking same, you stupid numbnut. It's not the same. We are not the United States popo. I say we do not need to go over there and pew-pew them up, killing unalived babies and everything else for what, Tim? Why are we over there, Tim? For what, Tim? What are we getting out of it, Tim? 3 bodies already? What are we getting out of it, Tim? What are we getting out of it? Nothing. They shut down the oil. We're going to have our gas going to go sky high next week. Our groceries going to go sky high. What are we winning, Tim?
I could ask you.
What are we winning, Tim?
I could ask you the same questions. You say they took out 3 people. We've had immigrants come in the country. They're taking out Lincoln Raleigh and many others. You literally, what you're saying is a parallel to what MAGA's saying about the immigrants.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What are you talking about? It's on our soil. We're fighting them on our soil. We have to fight them on our soil. Why do we have to go over their soil and fight their battles with,
All I know is
why? Why do we have to go fight their battles?
All I know is
war.
you sound like someone that only sees a reason to criticize when the Trump side is doing it, but you're doing it right now yourself. You're doing exactly what you criticize Trump for.
You're going to FAFO. You're going to FA. It's not the fucking same. You are the most stupidest fucking nigga I ever
Hey, I got to drop you. You don't use the N-word like 4 times. You can't keep... I asked you to stop doing that. I don't want the... Listen, I don't mind the criticism, but you using the N-word... The apps can take you down for that. I mean, like, I get you 1. You're at number 4. Shit. Calm down. Calm down with that. Anyway, let me move on. I don't like having to drop people. In case the grandma's always welcome on the program, but that's a bit much. 4 of those. I'm surprised that they kept her going. Anyway, looking in the comments, what did I say? Shit Beauty's official says block her before she gets the channel struck. See what I'm talking about? Like I said, she used it 4 times. I don't like taking people down. When I say we're uncensored, I really mean that. And but she kept coming with it. So, I mean, they got this fucking AI and shit out now. They can detect when you're doing that over and over again. So, and I gave her way more leeway than I would have given anybody else. Because, yeah, that's a term that the apps is all over. If it was my shit, say whatever the fuck you want. I wouldn't care. But it's not, I don't control the app. And when you're doing it over and over again like that, I don't have a choice. Make it make sense. Appreciate the support. Continuing on, she is much, even though points have been made. Well, the thing I was saying is this. MAGA looks at the immigrants and makes the same comment she was making. Why the hell do we have to take everybody in and play the world's charity, so to speak? She's saying the same thing about the Iranians. Why is it our job? Even when confronted with the possibility that Trump may be saving lives, her response was, fuck them. Why should we have to go do it? That's literally MAGA's response towards the immigrants. Yeah, they poor. Yeah, they coming here to claim asylum. They're running from cartel, but fuck them. Why should we have to take them in? That's literally MAGA's response. That's why I was telling her, you're pretty much the same as MAGA. You just kind of finagling it in a certain way. MAGA is just as MAGA lacks empathy towards immigrants the same way she was lacking empathy towards Iranians that may be being freed from oppression. Her words clearly were, I mean, I'm not paraphrasing. She said, fuck them. That's how MAGA feels about immigrants coming here for a better life. Fuck them. So real quick in the comments here, I do want to move on, and I see some folks are disagreeing. We'll bring you up. You can certainly criticize me in the same way she does. Just drop that one word, and she wasn't going anywhere. So she could have threw a million insults. It's just I don't want you triggering the app. So if you come up and you disagree with me, fair enough. Anyway, looking in the comments, Cutting Edge says, I don't care. Trump command the kill of Ali Khomeini, the leader of the regime. That man killed almost 100,000 Iranians, 32,000 with bullets and others with magnesium to hospitals. Yeah, but here's the problem, though. Let me just say this, because I'm going to point out hypocrisy, and I want you guys to point it out when you hear it from me. This is free speech, remember? If we're going to take out the leader of Iran, for what my viewer here, Cutting Edge, and thank you for your support and generosity, Cutting Edge, appreciate that. You're pointing out that this guy took out 100,000 Iranians and 30,000 with bullets and things like that. Kim Jong-un of Iran, of North Korea, has done even worse than that. And Trump went and shook that man's hand, invited him to the White House and things like that. So I do have to ask the question, why are you so gung-ho on one guy and so friendly to the other guy? Vladimir Putin has not been a saint. He's been killing his own people too. So, I mean, I'm pointing out hypocrisy. If you see it from me, let me know as well, but I'm pointing that out. How can you suggest that it's okay to take out Khomeini because he's some kind of murderous dictator, but you're on TV taking notes and shaking hands with Kim Jong-un? What's the difference? I don't understand it. Somebody help me out. Anyway, going back to the box, because if we're going to suggest that he needed to be taken out for how he's treating his own people, then he should have been blowing up North Korea the same way. I need for that to make sense. And I do want to hear from some MAGA on it as well, but I'll continue moving on with the program. We'll go to MAGA Reacts. Dems are hypocrites. And you only see that from the Dems, Sean rather. Sean, you only see the Democrats as hypocrites, huh? You see none of that from the Republicans. Good evening, MAGA Reacts. What's up? Or good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm in the trenches, of course. Gangsta Grandma preceding you. So, are we at war with Iran?
Yes, and I'm glad you finally kicked that lady. I mean, you let her get away. You let that white lady get away with using the N-word way too much. I'm glad you
First of all, she is not white. She's a proud African American, says her.
I don't know about that. Just because she puts up her pictures in black and white doesn't make her black.
No, she has a nice color photo. She's a nice looking woman.
I know, but I don't think she's black at all.
Well, goddamn it, what are you, Egyptian or what are you again? Colombian?
Yeah, I'm Egyptian.
You're Egyptian. People don't think you Egyptian either.
Yeah, but you've seen me on video, so you know.
I'm just telling you, people don't. I've seen her photo. With her. She does look.
You've seen me on video. You don't even know if that's her photo. We've had video chats. You know, so you
listen. I
she
mean,
can do the same thing. Get on video with you, and then you could vouch if she's actually what she is. That's
okay.
But can you vouch? You see me? Do I look Egyptian? Do I look Middle Eastern?
Yeah. I can vouch that you look somewhat like a white man, not totally, somewhat. So let's get into it.
That's what Easterns are. Like, they're white people with a tan.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you think is going to save your ass from ICE. So let's get into the program.
I don't think ICE is not an issue.
Yeah, it is. That's what you guys think. Is that if I look
tan ever and go to Minnesota,
that's what you guys think. If I look white enough, maybe ICE will be my friend until they come knocking at your door with a battering ram.
I got all my paperwork. I got all my shit straight. I'm here legally. That's why ICE is not going to mess with me.
You know how many motherfuckers that are here with paperwork and here legally they got kicked out? They'll put you on a plane in shackles with that paperwork in your fucking back pocket. They don't give a shit about that.
Right. Then at that day, I'll tell you were right. I'll call you from.
You ain't gonna get to make a phone call. They don't give those. You don't even get a phone call.
I'll have a phone once I'm in Egypt.
Okay, you call me for. I don't answer 10-digit numbers. You call me with this long ass plus
WhatsApp. You won't even know.
plus 15.
I got internet, buddy. Well, I'll email you. I'll do whatever kind of message you want.
Okay. Well, I'll realize it's you.
If I don't press the button once a week, it automatically send you a message that I'm missing or something.
I'll realize it's you when I see your profile picture with pyramids in the background. Like, they got that motherfucker. Got that motherfucker. Anyway, before you end up, let's get into it before you end up hanging out with Timbuktu and Pharaoh. The question I want to ask, now you admit we are in a war.
Yeah.
Why the hell is MAGA so hesitant you're MAGA. Why the hell is some of your brethren so hesitant to admit that?
I mean, it's not a traditional war. We're not going to have people on the ground. I doubt this is going to last more than a week. I mean, these people, I think they're done. Their people are fed up.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you that it's not a traditional war, but neither is the one in Ukraine and Russia. I mean, you're starting to use drones and all that. War is not traditional. You know, we're not talking about trenches and shit. That one's
fought by people. That one's people are dying all over the place. Like,
yeah, but there's still a lot of non-traditional aspects to it.
What's up?
I said there's still a lot of non-traditional aspects to it.
Listen, more people have died in 1 year and 1 day in Ukraine than I doubt anyone will die in this conflict.
Let me say it like this. When you got a juggernaut, high-tech nation like America taking on a nation like Iran that is, I guess I would say, developing tech. They certainly don't compare with us. You're not going to have man on ground versus man on ground. No matter how the war happens, it's going to be lopsided. Iran is going to have to use tactics that we don't like guerrilla tactics, because they can't play on our level. I mean, they don't have the same equipment.
They can't do guerrilla tactics for here. Like, we have to be in Iran for them to do guerrilla tactics, and we're not going to go in there.
They got Iranians all over the planet. I mean, America has assets everywhere, so there are soft targets everywhere you can tell. I mean, the hostages they took in the late 1970s, that wasn't in America. There's plenty of ways to get us.
It's not 1970 anymore.
It's plenty of Americans abroad that you can take out.
I'm not saying we're 100% safe, but there's so much tech, so much spyware. I think they'll be found out way before they get to do anything.
You didn't hear about the story of what just happened in Austin this morning?
No, what happened?
I'll give you the quick clip, and because I don't know, maybe a few others didn't hear this, but I played this earlier. Just a few seconds of this.
Downtown Austin this morning, and at least 3 people are dead. Take a look. It happened behind me. The early morning 911 calls came in about reports of a shooting at Buford's, a popular bar on 6th Street in downtown Austin near Rio Grande. Police responded quickly. They say that they had engaged with the suspect, who is now dead. This is the latest that we know right now. 17 people are hurt. 14 were taken to the hospital. 3 are in critical condition. And 3 people were found at the scene dead.
Now, this happened in Austin, Texas. For America, this is nothing typical, but the reason I'm mentioning this, it just came in before I went live. This is tied to Iran. Here's a picture of the individual. That's a grainy photo. I'm sure some of the networks are probably showing a better photo by now, but it's a black guy. He's a naturalized citizen from Senegal. He's wearing a shirt that says "Property of Allah." In the photo here, this is at the scene. You can see him carrying a long rifle. And he had a t-shirt under there that had an Iranian flag on it. This just happened this morning. So when you say we're safe, there are Iranians and people that sympathize with them all over this nation. And it's very easy for any of them to be this guy.
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't say 100%. A lot safer. I clearly said we're never 100% safe.
No, we're not 100%. I agree. Not quite 100. Maybe 99.9 up.
Especially after 4 years of Biden immigration. So
I don't know. Wait. Biden. I'm not for sure when this guy ended up. He's naturalized. So you don't become a naturalized citizen in 4 years. So that guy's been here before Biden. You don't move that quick. Kamala Harris for the Iranian presidency, says handsome conservative. No. But it's crazy how many.
For the record, I'm against this whole war. By the way, I'm against it. But just like the Venezuelan thing, and just like the first time they did this, I'm against him doing it. But if it turns out well, it turns out well. I think it might turn out well. Because like the Venezuelan thing, I see the Iranians are happy with it.
I think the level.
The 2 or 3 I have, and they're all happy with it. So
I think the problem is it ain't just that America did this; they did it with Israel. I don't find this turning out well. But before we continue, Cutting Edge says the thought is Kim Jong-un had nukes already, but the regime of Iran not. Plus, in Islam, the Quran commands them to kill us. They believe it as holy law to submit us to believe in Islam or kill us. The Iranians suffered that for 47 years. I don't totally agree with that. I think there are extremists in every religion. I don't think most Muslims read the Quran and interpret it as saying that, you must kill the West. I think that's the extremists in that party. I think there's about 1 billion Muslims or something like that. If they really believe that, it would be a whole lot more dead people. I think that's some Christian propaganda, in my opinion. Go ahead. What were you saying, Maga?
No, I work with them every day. One of my best employees is a Pakistani Muslim, and me and him get along really well. They're good people. I've grown up with them all my life. Even back in Egypt, during certain holidays, they would help protect us from other extremists. So, because remember, I'm Christian I'm a minority in Egypt, and we get along with them fine. It just is, like you said, there's always extremists in every group.
So you agree with me that the Quran does not command them to kill?
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
But just because it doesn't mean they listen or they interpret it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look,
I don't study the Quran, so I'm not going to answer that question.
Well, like I said, there's over 1 billion. I believe there's over 1 billion Muslims, and if they were certainly the type to be commanded to. I mean, look, if you believe you're going to get 77 virgins and you're going to get all of this eternal pleasure and eternal rewards, if 1 billion people believe that, you would have a lot of them killing people. It would be way more than it is. It would be way.
Like I said, I don't know enough about them to answer those questions, so I'd rather just next question.
Yeah.
But
wow, well, let me get before you continue. Ezra in the comments, because you are of Egyptian heritage, he says the caller is a traitor to his own people. Damn. What say you?
No, I'm Christian. I'm Coptic Christian. So I don't know what he's trying to say.
How do they? Now you're a minority in Egypt. How do they view Christians in Egypt, though?
I mean, they don't like it. I mean, just like any minority, we have rights and we get along, but obviously there's always issues. There's always extremists. There's always bullies. There's always. So they treat you. They treat you as a Christian in Egypt kind of like how we treat Muslims in America. Kind of, yeah. But overall, like right now with the current president, I used to have a joke that he goes to church more than I do, because every like Christmas and all that, where we watch like the celebrations in Egypt, he's always there for like Christmas and all the major holidays, and I skip some of those holidays. So I'm like, damn, the Muslim president of Egypt goes to church more than I do. So probably go to church more than your Christian president of America too. Because you don't see Trump in church at all. So, I mean. Probably, but that's not really part of his identity. Like, it's maybe part of his history. Like, it's part of my culture, being a Christian. I'm curious, what made you favor President Trump over Biden, considering Biden is a devout Christian? I mean, there's plenty of evidence of him going to church all the time. There's virtually none of Trump, not to mention he's a guy who really enjoys life in a way that probably is not very Christian-like to begin with, certainly with the women. I live in Miami. I enjoy life in much the same way. Oh, okay. At least I did when I was younger. All right, fair enough. I can't really judge him because I've lived in Miami most of my adult life, so you can imagine all the fun I've had around here. Fair enough. Miami's a very lively place. Okay, that's a good answer. So, exactly. So we used to have 24-hour parties 2 days in a row, like 24/7 partying 2 days in a row. I'm not going to argue with that. So I want to ask you, simply put, with so many nations being struck under the Trump administration, was the whole no new wars thing, if you reelect Trump, a lie? I mean, we're in constant military conflict. He's only been in office for a year and a few months, and we're constantly striking nations or threatening to do so. Like I said, like the results are working out, and if they continue to be okay, I'm all for it. Even though I don't like the choice, he's taking a gamble, and if the gamble pays off, that's his gamble to take, and we might be better off for it. So okay, even if I care about the results. Even if it's a gamble with good results, it still doesn't answer the question. Was the no new war statement a lie? Not really, because he's not trying to stay in a 20-year war or a 10-year war like Iraq was. I didn't put a time. Nobody put a time frame on it. A war's a war. It doesn't. Okay, a war. There's been. The key word was endless war. Endless war. You're literally from Egypt. Have you not heard of what it was called, the 6-day or 12-day war? Did you guys have a really short war with Israel? Yeah. Right. So one of our biggest celebrations, October 6th. And I didn't realize back then is because, I knew because we attacked them during like one of their holidays, but our biggest celebration, October 6th, is basically an October 7th of that year. Like, you know what I mean? The same The same.
But I don't get you putting the
Hamas took advantage of. Egypt took advantage.
I don't get you putting the time.
Did October 7 before Hamas.
But I asked you, was the No New Wars thing a lie? And you started going right into it's not a long one. And I'm pointing out there's been some pretty brutal wars that were really short. But before you answer that, I want to respond to
this goal is not war. Like he gets kind of like no other choice kind of situation. I have no other choice but to put these people down.
You think there was no other choice but to take Maduro out of power?
I think so, because I think this is all gonna go. Like, if this is successful, just like Venezuela, this is all gonna go.
How is Venezuela is successful by what metric? How did America benefit from that at all? How was that successful?
I don't know if it's successful or not, but if it ends up being successful and oil prices go down and everything works out to be more peaceful, this is gonna really weaken Russia, which is basically.
What about the people of Venezuela? Has it benefited them at all?
Yeah, because right now we're gonna, if everything works out, we remove the same with Iran. We're gonna remove our sanctions. They're gonna be able to sell their oil at full price, even if it's discounted. It's gonna be a lot more than what they're selling their oil for before. We remove our sanctions from both Venezuela and Iran, and their economy will start to flourish, and their people will be better off than they are now.
I don't know any country we've ever worked with that has benefited as rosy as you're saying, but hang on a second. Cutting Edge says hang on. Cutting Edge says they lie, brother. They use tag. Okay, I don't get this word. Something to infiltrate our government. They have 4 wives and more than 4 or 5 children. They're using the tactic of Muhammad in Medina and Mecca. Just wait. If they get the numbers to kill us, it's history. They already have the numbers. They already have it. Certainly, we're in the Middle East. They absolutely outnumber us significantly in the Middle East. Now, if America was only here, where they had trouble getting to us, we're thousands of miles away, but you got people from the West all over the Middle East. They absolutely have the numbers there to do it. So I don't know if he's reiterating the point that they're trained to not trained, but their Quran tells them to take us out. And he's saying that they would absolutely do it if they had the numbers. And I'm kind of wondering, it seems like they already have the numbers.
Listen, they're more on our side than against us. Like, especially right now that Iran randomly struck places in Dubai and all that. It's going to take a coalition of like all those Arab countries to basically keep Iran safe. To restore it, is that the right word? To make it, to bring it into, just to make it friendly. It's going to take a coalition of Arab countries. It's not going to be us going in. It's going to be a coalition of Arab countries.
Yeah, I don't expect. It's like trying to make America be friendly with Russia when we've been trained to dislike. I mean, most of us Gen Xers, go back to Red Dawn and all that shit and hiding under your desk because you're not going to convince Gen Xers. You might be able to do it with the younger generation, but most of us have been taught to hate the Russians for so long. It probably ain't going to end and that's the same way in Iran. They've been hating us since the late 70s. So same thing, the Gen X crowd. I don't think you're going to make Iran in America. The younger folks that want to be westernized and things like that, maybe some of the young girls want to be feminist. You may be to get them. But the folks that are in our age group, we're going to just have to die off. They're not going to be friendly with America. America has done too many things on behalf of Israel that has oppressed Iranians. They're not going to be friends with America because Trump took out Khomeini.
If the numbers are true, more Iranians died protesting in the last couple of months than ever were killed by Israel.
You can have 2 enemies, right? You cannot like Khomeini and not like the Americans simultaneously, can't you?
Well, if everything works out, they'll forget Israel. They'll be seduced by freedom and technology, like we've all been seduced.
I don't think you're going to forget Israel because Israel wants to have dominance in that region, just like America, and they're going to be constantly putting their thumb on Iran. They're going to be involved in Iranian affairs for decades. They're not going to forget Israel, and they're not going to forget Netanyahu. I mean, the same thing what he did with the Houthis and all the Hamas. The Iranians were friends with a lot of those folks. They're not going to forget that.
We'll see. Like I said, the Iranians managed to piss off the Saudis and Qatar. They pissed off all their neighbors. They just shot rockets into all their neighbors. So we'll see if it works out in our favor or not. I mean, I don't play that game where I'm going to predict the future and tell you what's going to happen. I'm hoping for the best. I think the people of Iran are more sick of their government than, I mean, look at how sick of we are, how sick of you guys are of fucking Trump, and imagine like 50 years of a Trump on crack, you know?
But the difference is Trump wants us to be sick of him. Trump wants liberal tears. He does think. I mean, what Trump is.
The difference is these people are actually authoritarian. These people are actually fascist.
I mean, I get that, but I'm just going with the. I get all that, but I'm just going with Trump. I'm just simply saying Trump acts in a manner that suggests he wants Democrats not to like him. He wants Democrats to be angry with him. He sparks up arguments and trolls. I mean, he don't want the Democrats to like him.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Imagine 50 years of what you think Trump is. Like, you guys think he's the Hitler and all that shit. He's not actually those things, but you guys pretend like he is. Pretend he's a fascist, Hitler, Nazi with Gustavo soldiers. These people actually live with a real fucking Nazi regime for 50 years. They actually had a Gustavo police going around killing protesters and doing all the shit that you guys pretend that Trump is.
Well, let me just say this about Trump. Let me just say this about Trump. Let me just say this about Trump. In regard, I'm not saying he's the Gestapo or he's not. He's, you know. I will say this though. That shit started somewhere. If you go back to early Hitler, like the early. It has to develop to get to. Hitler didn't start out with all of this stuff. You got to get the power. You got to get the support of the people. You got to get the right folks in place. It starts out somewhere. So I'm not saying, let's say Trump does turn into what you're suggesting the liberals think he is. Then right now on the time scale, we would probably be in the early 30s version of Germany. We're not in the 1940s where he has full power yet. But he is climbing the ranks just like Hitler did. He didn't start out at the top.
It happened overnight. It was an overnight revolution.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Hitler was not he wasn't the man in the early 30s when he took power. He was elected.
Okay, but the part you keep forgetting is it was the 1930s. You can't get away with that shit today.
You just said there's a dictator in Iran who's doing it in 2026. Now you're telling me you can't do it like...
He's done it for 50 years. He's done it for 50 years, and we just defeated him, and I really doubt a new one's going to spring up.
Well, the point I can't say what I doubt or whatever, because in my opinion, Trump is doing a lot of things that even MAGA would have denied he was going to do right now. So he's already doing a lot of things that we...
I'll give you that. I didn't think he was going to do this.
Yeah. So he's already doing a lot of things, and he already has more power than I think Trump is more powerful than any of the former 40-some-odd presidents.
But Tim, this was a gamble for the greater good. The world might be better off without Maduro. The world might be better off without Iran and their terroristic government that paid for all the terrorism in the area. So the world might be way better off because of this. It's just a gamble, and it might pay off. It might be another Iraq disaster.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with that. Gaddafi was similar. Saddam Hussein was similar. We took them out. The world ain't no better off without them. The world continued to be what the world is. This is just another one of those kind of dudes. We've taken him out.
It has to be managed correctly, and I want to say Iran is not Syria, but I'm not familiar with Syria when Gaddafi. Oh, sorry, that's not Syria. That's Libya.
Yeah.
I think Iran is way more developed than Libya was. Same with Iraq. I think Iran is way more modern.
Let me just make the case. Let me just say it this way: the nations that were governed by these dictators that we took out, those nations are not even doing better. Libya's not, we don't hear nobody bragging about how great Libya is since we took out Gaddafi. Nobody's bragging about how awesome Iraq is now that Saddam is gone. Even those nations themselves are not doing that better. And America has not done anything for the people of those nations. So we take out your dictator and then we just leave. We don't do nothing for the people once we leave. We're not doing anything for Iraqis.
The difference is Iran has oil to jumpstart its modernization, and Venezuela has oil. That oil money
in Iraq did not. There's nothing in Iraq.
Iraq wasn't that modern. Iraq, a lot of it was like half of it. I don't think Iraq was that developed.
Okay, all right. In Venezuela has, what are we doing for Venezuelans? We take out the leader and we leave the people to their own devices. That's why it doesn't get better.
I'm still not going to judge it until I see what happens. I don't know why you're judging it.
I'm judging it because we got a lot of historical precedent of similar cases to go by. And I mean, we don't took out a lot of bad people, and none of the people are doing better. Like, okay, well, this time it might be different. I gotta move it on. I'll give you the last word.
I don't think this is the same as those situations. This is a lot more careful, and we've learned from our mistakes. Hopefully, we've learned from our mistakes, because I could be proven very wrong, but it looks like we've learned from our mistakes, and it doesn't look like the same old mistakes again, but it could be. So it's a 50-50. Only time will tell.
All right, fair enough, and I appreciate you coming through, MAGA. And looking on my screen, I'm looking at Fox. So they're Greg Abbott was releasing a statement about the mass shooting that took place in Austin this morning, and I do believe they're confirming that it's a long letter he don't type. So if you want to go to your cable news outlet and look at it, but it does appear that they're confirming that was somebody who was responding in kind to what happened in Iran. Hillary Clinton for Iranian president. Why are you putting liberals over Iran? I mean, you're putting liberals who are known to be Christian over a country like Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. By the way, those countries don't favor a woman being a leader either. So I don't know why you keep saying that, handsome conservative. The people that defend the enemies are safe bitching about it in the United States. Well, here's a problem about that. Who said that? Silent Rage. Love the name, by the way. He says the people that defend the enemies are safe bitching about it in the United States. Here's the problem. The definition of who the enemies are changes from one American to the next. Look at the Ukrainian-Russian war. There's a lot of Americans that think the Ukrainians are allies, and there's a lot of Americans like Tucker Carlson who viewed the Russians as the allies. So even when you say defending the enemies, it depends on who you ask. I mean, right now in this country, a lot of folks view illegal immigrants as the enemies. After all, they're coming here to rape and murder everybody. So it depends on who you ask. You go to Minnesota, they're not enemies. So yeah, I mean, what your opinion of an enemy is may vary compared to another American you ask. So you may be villainizing folks that other Americans view as friends. Think of it. Why do you think ICE is getting so much protest in the streets? It's because people believe that they're going after friendlies. You probably are on the other side of that, so it depends. Looking in the comments, you cannot come in here without papers. I don't think that matters, though, Coffee Talk. As I stated, having papers does not save you from being deported. If it was just people who ran across the Rio Grande, and thank you for that TikTok cap there, Lewis. If it was people who just ran across the Rio Grande or overstayed their visas getting kicked out, you'd have a point. But Trump is kicking out people that have papers, people who have cases. They're deporting people from courtrooms, people showing up to their actual scheduled court appearances, and they're grabbing them and kicking them out. So having papers don't save you from the Trump administration. Coming here legally does not save you from the Trump administration. None of that does. Only thing that's going to probably save you from Trump is having complete citizenship. And I was saying that on the program before, several months ago, right after Trump got elected. I stated that if you are not an actual citizen, if you have not actually been sworn in as a U.S. citizen under the Trump administration, you are not safe. You may have a green card. You may be in the process. You are not safe in any of those. If you have not raised your hand and sworn in as a U.S. citizen, you're not safe. All this illegal immigrant, they're going after way more than just illegals. And I see in the comments, Flame Train says, send them back. Yeah, exactly. That's the mantra. Send them back. Lewis, good evening. Oh, better yet, good afternoon. Welcome to. I keep saying evening because I'm used to being on an evening. But Lewis, good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going, Tim? Hey, thanks for bringing me up.
It's going rough, man.
Just want to say,
go ahead.
I'm telling you something, man. I think it's better when Grandma comes on here and she is high than when she's.
You remember her during the time when she had we were talking about sexual abuse or something like that, and She got
that was horrible. I blame you for that, though. Just so you know, I think you should have known it because I know earlier she had told you that she had been.
I don't remember hearing that. But listen,
I remember it like last year sometime. It was a while ago.
Okay.
It was a while ago.
Okay,
but I remember it.
Then I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit. But understand, I say this over and over and over again on the program. This is a free speech program. You can be critical of the host. You can, listen. I'm not going to censor your speech. So conversations can get hot. If you're an emotional person, don't take us down, because as a caller, you're generally leading us in some of these directions too. Don't take us down a path where you may have emotional ties to. And if because I'm going to push back if you're saying something that leaves that avenue.
Tim, I'm just going to tell you something. I know you're not 50 yet. You're probably in your 40s.
I'm over 50.
So I'm just going to. Well, we're over 50. Anyway, I got a son that's 50, so I'm just going to tell you, I know I'm older than you. I'm just going to say this to you. Stay away from those women issues if you can avoid it. I'm not saying don't let them come up in your life, but kind of keep your own opinion to yourself when it comes to women issues. You know what I'm saying? You'd be a lot safer that way.
Right. Well, look, if we're talking, look,
I'm gonna tell you something. I really think that. Well, if you don't want meltdowns like that, that's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, look, we're going to tackle issues that can definitely cause, because she also has had a loved one that lost their lives military, and we obviously talking about wars and people dying, which could have been what reason she went off today, because I think her husband or somebody is a veteran that lost his life or something. So look, if you went through something that pertains to today's topics, I'm talking about today's topics. I don't want a guest that wants me to tiptoe. I'm not going to tiptoe. So I would just say don't come up on certain issues that you may be sensitive to.
I agree with that, and that's why I say that's why I don't talk to people. Number one, I'm a retired veteran, and I don't talk to people. I'll give my opinion in your live about military stuff, but I don't talk to people about the military who were never in the military. I don't talk to people about the VA who don't receive those services. I don't talk about things that I know they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
They just have an opinion about it.
Right. And see, when
I can say everybody has one.
Yeah. See, I'm not military, but I do discuss those subjects. But I make it clear to the audience. I'm pleading ignorance. I make sure they know I'm not military. I may be criticizing them or celebrating them, but I make it clear I'm asking this from a question, from a standpoint of a question, because what do I always say? Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, let me know. But
absolutely, you're learning. You're learning. So that's definitely the way to do it. I wouldn't want you to come up and be tempting to a military person and try to tell them about the military. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's just something, and I've never seen you do that. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's going on here, Tim. I'm gonna tell you right now that we are taking out Iran because of the simple fact that they're going to start building in Gaza, and they don't want Iran interfering with that. So they're putting them in check now. I'm telling you, we over there to give Nahu his little pre to go ahead.
So when Trump said we're going to own Gaza, they actually meant that.
They meant that, bro. I'm telling you right now, they're trying to try to turn Gaza into
the Riviera of the Middle East. The Riviera of the Middle East.
And let me tell you something. Every one of those places that Iran struck is where we have military personnel at. They didn't strike anywhere inside those towns. They did hit Israel, but all those other countries, Qatar, Jordan, they hit our military bases. We have between 50 and 70,000 soldiers or active duty military personnel in that area. That's what they're striking. They're not striking the civilian communities in those areas. Of course, there's going to be casualties of war when you're dropping freaking 2,000-pound bombs, but they're actually striking military facilities, and that's what people don't understand is that they're not just hitting that country and like what we did. What did we do? We hit a school.
Yeah. And we took out I think last I heard 51 schoolgirls lost their lives in that.
Well, they say now that number's up
like 100 and something. Yeah, like 100. I heard like 100.
It's way up there.
Shit. Well, I mean, when you look at when you look at the footage of like with those drug boats, the things when you say obliterated, that's exactly what happens.
What I wanted to, did you listen to Trump's whole speech at the State of the Union address?
Yeah, all 2 hours of it.
Did you hear him say, did you remember when he said, you don't see any fishing going off the shores of, you don't see anybody fishing off the shores of Venezuela anymore, right?
Yes.
He knows those were fishing boats. Those were not drug boats. Those were fishing boats. Because he said that. He said, there's nobody fishing off the shores of Venezuela anymore, is it?
Yeah, he did.
So he knows, he kind of gave that away.
And MAGA Reacts, one of my frequent callers, MAGA Reacts swears up and down that those boats were not fishing boats and that they were carrying drugs. He swears up and down on that one.
Well, MAGA Reacts also thinks that little video that he did on his site is actually that was so comical. I mean, that was so comical.
That man put time into that. Leave that man.
See, I don't know how any immigrant can be a supporter of this administration. I'm not saying I don't think any immigrant shouldn't be a conservative. Don't get me wrong. But there's no way that you can tell me that you're an immigrant and you support what's going on with this administration to our immigrants. Period.
Well,
because I guess you just won't get into it's just like to me. I grew up in the South back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And I'm telling you now that I'm amazed that a lot of my homeboys that were on those marches with me, with Medgar Evers and some of those people, that they are still Trump supporters. I have had to cut them off because I can't understand how they could be that way, knowing how things went. You follow what I'm saying? But I don't have a problem with a person being on the left or the right or being conservative or liberals. That part doesn't bother me. But being mega, being a mega person.
As somebody that has been to a couple Trump rallies, I make it clear I have attended Trump rallies. He speaks, you ever seen I'm gonna give you an old movie that maybe you've seen and a lot of people probably have not. Remember the Warriors from the late 70s?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cyrus, and they talked about they're riding on the subway and they're describing who Cyrus is, and they're like, it's like listening to magic. It's like Cyrus has a way to. Trump knows how to speak to a crowd. I mean, I don't know what you're coming there to hear, but he knows how to say what you wanted to hear. I mean, it's like going to your pastor. No matter what your pastor talks about, it's going to feel like it's relating to you. He knows how to speak. That might be why some folks get hooked on Trump, because it just feels like he's talking. The guy's got gold toilets, but you got folks who barely make it minimum wage. Like, he one of us. He relates to people some kind of way.
Let me say this. Have you ever been to a hypnotist?
No, I might have and don't know it. I'm gonna say no though.
and that's possible too, yeah. But my thing is that everybody can't be hypnotized.
True.
So even if you have an audience of, say, I don't think Trump's rallies are as big as he says. He says it's hundreds of thousands. It's never that many people inside those little buildings.
No, it wasn't. The ones I went to were not that big like that. No.
I mean, I go to the Harrisburg farm shows all the time, and the building only holds 5,000, and he said it was 50,000 people in there. You can't hold but 5,000. How you got?
Well, look, let's just be clear. Let's just be clear. I've said this many times in the program. Anytime Trump gives numbers, if those numbers can be exaggerated to benefit him, expect them to be. I mean, his mugshot when he gave his own height and weight measurements. The numbers were exaggerated. The size of his inauguration crowd was bigger than Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream." I mean, his voting tallies bigger. He won the election by a landslide. I mean, he's always exaggerating numbers. He's not talking about giving you a 600% discount on drugs.
What you're saying that if Stormy Daniels says he had a Vienna sausage, he's going to say he had a
cucumber.
Hot links, right?
He had a cucumber. He had a cucumber. Yeah, I mean, his number. He's talking about giving you a 600% discount on drug prices. That means you show up to buy drugs and they give you 6 times what it costs in cash. That's not going to happen. He does that. He exaggerates. We know that already.
Yeah, and these, it's not so much that he does that. It's just that they believe that.
Yeah.
These are educated people. Some of them even got high degrees, and they actually still believe that.
I don't know if it's them people. I think it's more the people that don't have a degree. I think the folks who are educated just look at it like, look, at the end, like what Marguerite X was saying. He's went a little far in these areas or these areas, but at the end of the day, if the end results are good, then I'm okay with it. I think that's what the educated MAGA viewers are.
But here's the thing, though, Tim. Trump doesn't care about those people who are smart enough to figure it out. He's only concerned with the people who can't figure it out. He's not concerned with the people who can figure it out because the numbers of the people who can't is bigger than the numbers of the ones who can. You follow what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I can't speak on exactly what's in the guy's head, but I mean, he exaggerates. I mean, yeah, you got to take what he's saying with a grain of salt. He doesn't.
But I honestly believe that he has some kind of word hypnotism thing going on. I think if he's talking to, let's just say he is talking to 5,000, probably 2 of those 5,000 are going to buy everything he says.
He's the greatest to ever do it. 5, He's the greatest to ever do it, Lewis. Absolutely. I've never seen. I mean, even Obama. Even Obama, yeah. And I've been to some Obama gatherings as well. It ain't the Trump, the power, man. It ain't the same. That guy, I got folks, when I went to the Trump rally, I had somebody look me dead in the eye and say Trump was appointed by God.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between being a preacher like Obama and being a showman like P.T. Barnum, which is what Trump is. Trump is a
P.T. Barnum was over a circus. What are you saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's what he's in. That's what you got it. You got it right.
Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Actually, yeah, but he is a showman. He's a showman. He knows what to say to bring in the people. He knows what to say.
Can you imagine?
That is showmanship.
Now, I don't want to go down the road of Epstein, but when you factor in how well he knows how to talk to people and the showman and convince you, can you imagine how much pussy that man got? I mean, because he knows how to just. The game is so strong.
I'm telling you now is that I know how much he got. He got so much that he can't even remember what he got. That's because Trump don't remember being with Stormy Daniels. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't even remember his ex-wife during the E. Jean Carroll. He didn't even remember his own ex-wife.
Exactly. He didn't even remember his ex-wife. So that tells you he doesn't remember women at all. They're nothing. They're just a part of saying he deserves that. I mean, when you grow up filthy rich and can have anything you want,
it's got to be a nice life.
Your whole life, what you spend your whole life trying to do is get something that you can't have, and that's what I think Trump. Because Howard Stern said to Trump way before he decided to run the president, he said, "Man, why would you do that? You have the perfect life. Why would you want to run for president?" This was right before he decided.
Just to add that to the resume of accomplishments. But hang on before you continue. Real quick, looking in the comments here. Trump, better yet, Mr. G says Trump and MAGA ain't shit. He says white Christian nationalism is the closest thing to any Muslim extremist caliphate. In fact, they can be interchangeable. Would you agree with that? White Christian nationalism. And Muslim caliphates are almost the same thing.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I always thought of MAGA more as the new Confederacy. I didn't ever think of them as being as radical as the Christian Nationals are. Christian Nationals are definitely trying to run things in the GOP. They have taken over the GOP. They're donating the most money. They are definitely trying to do it. I can't think of the guy's name that's in charge of that, but he's a real nut, man. He's a real nutcase.
Miller, Stephen Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there you go. I agree with that 100%. I think Stephen Miller is definitely the man that we have to worry about more than anything else long after Trump is gone. When Trump is gone, the next person that they get in there is going to be still backed by Miller.
What are you talking about, like a Miller Fuentes ticket?
I'm thinking it's going to be. I think it's going to have to be J.D. Vance. I'm sorry to say that. I think it's going to have to be J.D. Vance. I'm not saying that.
J.D. Vance, but you think J.D. Vance would be down with the Miller doctrine, knowing his wife?
I think so. I think that man's gonna dump his wife, number one, and go with what's his name,
Erica Kirk.
Wife.
Erica Kirk.
Yeah, I think he's gonna dump
Everybody keeps saying that. I mean, Erica Kirk gives the best hugs. I get it, but damn, take the man, take Charlie's wife.
I'm just saying the way he hugged her around her waist like that.
She do give good hugs. She do give good hugs. I can see that. I mean, she got the hand in the massaging the scalp. Like, man, this is free. You don't charge for this. This is good.
Exactly. And you rarely see Vance with his wife after that too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he probably saving her, just like Vivek Ramaswamy kind of got out of the way in the national level too, because they were some of the. I mean, the extreme right of the.
What I'm saying to you is, I know his wife, after she hugged him like that, I know his wife said, "What the fuck?" His wife had to say something. I know that brown woman said something about that shit, the way she touched him.
Well, they got a baby on the way though. I mean, he about to drop another album.
Yeah, I think he already had that baby. I think she just had it recently.
Oh, really?
I think she's had it now.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think she's had it now.
You don't think he gonna lead the?
And that might be why we haven't seen her, is because she's taking care of that. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think he gonna lead the old lady with 4? They got like 4 kids though. You think he gonna lead the old lady with 4 kids? I mean, how many?
I think after Trump, Trump left his after 3.
I mean, don't set the bar at Trump. Trump, in terms of husbands, don't set the bar at Trump. But how many of Charlie's kids would J.D. Vance be taking care of? I mean, I'm sure they ain't gonna call him daddy, but I mean, because Erica Kirk got
all of them women. Yeah, I think they have at least 4.
Wow, here's a story of a man named J.D. I mean, that's a lot of kids for a couple.
you know the thing that bothers them the most is that, and it's not so much that I think it bothers them that CK was, unalived, but I think it bothers them more that we didn't give a shit.
What do you mean? That you talking about that the Democrats didn't give a shit?
That no liberal gives a shit about Charlie Kirk being unalive.
I mean, he was as anti-liberal as they come. I mean, that's like look at how the right treated. Look at how the right treated.
That's what I'm saying. I don't wish what happened to him on nobody.
Right.
But am I going to cry about it?
I mean,
No.
Look at how the right treated Jesse Jackson's death. I mean, and Jesse Jackson didn't go around saying all kinds of awful shit about conservatives like Charlie Kirk did about liberals. So they didn't care about Jesse Jackson passing away.
Let me say this to you. You know how right now they're saying that after the Khomeini or whatever the supreme leader was taken out,
mm-hmm.
and the people are cheering in the streets? Do you think that if DT was taken out, it wouldn't be people in our streets cheering right now?
Yeah, a lot. In fact, I'm kind of in 2 places. Yeah, I agree with you. If Trump got taken out, it would be people celebrating and crying both. I'm looking at on my big screen here. There's some serious riots and stuff going on in Baghdad right now about what happened in Iran. So everybody is not happy because the Trump side of the aisle was talking about.
I'm telling you,
everybody's celebrating taking out Khomeini
right
now.
Those Arab countries, because Israel has something to do with it, are not going to support the United States. I'm telling you right now.
And that's what I was telling MAGA, that they've been trained to hate us for so long. Just taking out these dudes is not going to change that.
Exactly not.
Yeah.
It's not going to change nothing. Trump is saying that they've taken out 48 of their leaders. That's bullcrap. They've taken out probably about 5 or 6 of them. But you got to figure.
You really think it's only that? I don't know. I mean, they actually named the names of the people they took out.
Yeah, they say there's about 5 of them that were part of the administration, not 48. What they're reporting is about 5 of them. I got their names.
I saw it. And they not only did they show the names and pictures, they even gave you the titles of the people they took out. I don't know. I think it's more than 5. I tend to. The reason why I believe it, I tell you this.
They're showing it right.
Yeah, I tell you this. The reason why I believe it is not that Trump said it, because Trump can Netanyahu said it, and Netanyahu in the Mossad is very thorough. When they say they killed your ass, they killed your ass.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, Tim, is that they're saying that what Trump is counting as part of it is the military guys. those military guys are not leaders. They're just guys who do what the leaders say do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if the guys don't have a title like secretary of this or interior of this, they're not leaders. They're just military guys, and most of them were military guys that were on military installations. So they're not leaders.
Okay,
They're leaders, but they're not part of the regime.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about when you're talking about an authoritarian government, it's hard. Khomeini's the leader. The rest of them, he's an authoritarian. You can be just like Trump. With Trump, you can be Marco Rubio or JD Vance today. If he hates you, you fired tomorrow. You just don't know.
Well, you got to figure. Everybody forget Iran has a president, and he's still alive. The president of Iran is still alive.
Wonder why they let him be.
That's the guy that actually does all the administrative stuff.
I wonder why they let him be.
The supreme leader does not control the government. The supreme leader control. It's like, we know what the supreme leader is. He's like what the Pope is to the Vatican,
which is just kind of almost like a figurehead,
A figurehead. That's all he is, just a figurehead. He's like the Pope. It's like every Catholic. Who do they worship? Even though he ain't in the. What does every Catholic in the United States? Who do they look up to?
You mean like a cardinal?
No, they look up to the Pope.
Oh, I'm thinking you. The Cardinals are right below the Pope, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But they're below the Pope. The Pope is the man in the Catholic religion.
Right.
Okay, in Iran, their top guy is the supreme leader. He's their top religious guy. He's a religious figure.
But he doesn't have actual. Does he have actual power to make laws and legislation and stuff? Because the Pope does not.
Absolutely not. Only thing for just. Yeah. No. Here's the deal. The supreme leader does all of the administrative stuff, like tell women they got to wear burqas. Tell men they can beat their wives if she looks in the wrong direction.
Shit,
that kind of stuff.
That's more laws than the Pope. That's a lot more laws than the Pope.
Oh, I guarantee if the Pope said that women couldn't do certain things, some Catholics probably would do that too.
But they're not going to arrest you and they're not going to beat you for it. I got to move on, but yeah, we used to be like the Muslim population, but we've kind of evolved a little bit past it. Real quick.
Do you think of the Nation of Islam? Do you think of the Nation of Islam as Muslims?
You want Farrakhan? No.
Yeah.
Not really. Loosely associated. I would say loosely associated.
They are devout Muslims too, man. It's just don't nobody fuck with the Nation of Islam. Do you hear what I'm saying? Because those are crazy motherfuckers right there. I mean, Nation of Islam.
I used to live across the street from Farrakhan's headquarters for 20 years. I used to right across the street from Mos Miriam in Chicago. I got to move it on, though, man. But I used to live right there. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lewis.
Hey, good talk, Tim. Thanks for bringing me up, man. I appreciate you, man.
Anytime, and thank you. All right, moving on. By the way, tap the screen. Get us on up. I can't even see without my glasses on because the number count is so damn small. By the way, folks, if you favor uncensored dialogue, get us up to 90. If you favor uncensored dialogue, you're in the right place. We are MAGA friendly, always have been, always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program. You know what I always say, we go left of Bernie Sanders to having dinner with Q. If you enjoy this type of programming, and thank you for the TikTok cap there, Bryce Ferg, appreciate it. If you enjoy this type of programming, uncensored, free speech, follow the program. If you happen to be watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, give your boy a follow. By the way, those are the platforms where you can actually call in and be a caller. For those who wonder, well, how can I call in? Instagram, Substack, and TikTok. YouTube doesn't allow that. If they did, I would bring you up straight from YouTube. But certainly Instagram, Substack, TikTok, same name, Handsome Liberal across all platforms. If you enjoy this also and you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. By the way, for my YouTube followers, I do need you guys to tap the screen, get the likes up. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. We're here most weekdays. Tap that like button. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. Doesn't cost you a damn thing to do it. So tap the like button if you're watching us currently on YouTube. Jermaine says, Tim, Donald Trump speaks to one crowd, and that one crowd don't speak for Americans. I mean, that's an opinion, but I'll have to get you to elaborate. You said Donald Trump only speaks to one crowd. What is your definition of the one crowd he's speaking to? Elaborate on what you said he only speaks to one crowd, and that one crowd does not speak for Americans. Well, let me just say it like this. What he is saying now is different than what he campaigned on. Because he campaigned on, African Americans, what have you got to lose and things like that. He's not speaking favorably of African Americans now. So same thing with a lot of the immigrant population. A lot of the immigrant population thought he was speaking favorably to them as well. And his language has changed since getting elected. We talked about folks who want to get to the bottom of the Epstein files. What he was campaigning on Epstein-wise is different than what he's doing now. We're talking currently right now about no new wars. What he campaigned on in regards to wars is different than what he's doing now. So he ran a campaign that is not exactly like how he is leading. So I'll say it can go in two different directions with that. And thank you folks on YouTube tapping that like button. Real quick in the comments before we go to the next caller and get us on up to 90,000. We'll take the next caller. Mr. G says the same context hawks for Trump are calling Gavin Newsom racist for a clip of him talking to a mixed crowd of people with dyslexia, not all black. Yeah, I talked about that. I actually made a video of that. Gavin Newsom suggesting that he didn't do well on the SAT. He doesn't do well on literacy tests. And then him following up and saying, well, I'm just like you guys are. And MAGA Trump supporters, the right, tried to indicate that he was racist by saying that, blacks don't read or they don't do well on tests. I did a video on that, and I said that if the current president was George W. Bush or, Romney or McCain, that argument would have a little bit more weight. But Gavin Newsom made that statement, and you're calling him racist when just 2 weeks or so ago, the same folks that are calling Gavin Newsom racist for making that statement were trying to convince us that pictures of African Americans as apes was comedy. So the point I'm saying is, you're not for folks who are criticizing Gavin Newsom on a racism comment, you're not in a position to do that, because the African American community, damn near as a whole, do not view pictures of African Americans as apes and primates as comedy. And the whole claim, well, he did it to Biden too. Biden was an ape or what? That's like literally having somebody use the N-word. First, let's say it's a white person, because that's who normally takes the flack for this. But let's say it's a white person that calls another white guy the N-word. And then he calls the next two guys walking down the street N-word. Says, well, he called the white person the N-word too. That ain't going to save him. That ain't going to save him. So the idea that the Trump's account, because he claims it was a staffer, but the idea that Trump's account featured the Obamas as primates, and the defense was, well, he also did it to Biden. That just, look, I said it when we talked about this when it came out, but fact is, it's been known all of our lifetimes that, somebody white posting a picture of an African American as a monkey, ape, or some kind of primate is racist. The historical context, you always say, let's take things into context, like Charlie Kirk. Don't take it. The context of that is clear. You can go all the way back 100 plus years or more. Depicting African Americans as primates has always been used in a racial context. I don't know if there's ever been a case of portraying an African American as a primate by a white person and it wasn't viewed as racist. I can't think of a single incident where it was not viewed as racist. So to be in 2026 trying to convince people that is comedy, but what Gavin Newsom did is racist. Anyway, let me go ahead and continue on. But I don't understand that, because if you shave a monkey, he doesn't look black, he looks white. I don't know. Like I said, just portraying African Americans as primates has always been historically, traditionally viewed as racist. It's always been that way. So what are we going to, what is the attempt? Now we're going to somehow normalize portraying African Americans as primates so that it is not racist? Are we trying to change what has been historically accepted? I don't know, but it's always been considered as being racist. Comedy. Okay, and by the way, for folks who suggest this comedy, racism can be comical. There are people who laugh at racism. It can be, you can be both, but it's always been viewed as racism. How can you tell that joke, Mr. Butthurt? James Richard, I don't know where you're going with that. Don't know what you mean, but you can clear it up. The Pope has the ability to govern via all three types of power, legislative, executive, and judicial. He can, on his own, pass governing laws, judged based on those laws and enforce them. I've never heard of that. The Pope can do that? I've never heard of that. But continuing on, by the way, get us up to 90. You guys have done that. And there I thought they taught us that we all were I'm not even going to go into the notion of the evolution chart and we evolved from being primates and all of that. I believe that there may be some validity to that. But I'm just simply saying taking a photo of an actual African American and making them look like a monkey or an ape has always been viewed as racist. There's no way to finagle that into meaning something else. You can bring up the evolution chart or you can bring up DNA or any that has always been meant as a racist thing to do. There's no way to try to change that. That's always been viewed that way. Continuing on, James Harper. Good evening, James. Afternoon, better yet. Welcome to the program. Is MAGA getting the hint yet? Trump's full of shit. Joe, no, MAGA thinks Trump is awesome. No, they're not. No, they're not agreeing with you on that. Good evening, James, or afternoon.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. I'm asking the simple question of: are we at war with Iran?
Yes. And for the people that keep trying to use word association to justify saying, no, it's not this, it's not, we're at war, it's a military action or it's a strike, it's still an act of war.
Yeah. They're saying it's a conflict. They're saying there's no boots on the ground. They're saying that he didn't declare war, therefore it's not.
The 7-day war didn't have boots on the ground, but that was still a war.
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned Bin Laden, what happened on September 11th. They didn't have boots on the ground either, and we called that a war as well. So, I mean, called it a war on terror. So I don't know how they justify a war and when it is a war and when it's not, but they have their own definition apparently. So let me ask it to you this way. Do you think what Trump did is a good thing, potentially freeing what could be thousands of Iranians from an oppressive government?
No. Because if we're going on the same logic that he's going on now, we should have hit Kim Jong-un, we should have hit Putin, and we should have hit a whole list of other dictators that we didn't even try to touch.
Yeah. And I actually said that earlier in the live stream, because that is what people are saying is that, Trump, how bad Khomeini was, and he was oppressive and he was killing his own people. And I mentioned the same thing is that Kim Jong-un has used like artillery guns to punish folks, blowing them up with an aircraft shell. Like he's done all kinds of creative ways to kill people. And Trump went and met him and shook his hand.
Kim Jong-un will punish you and your family tree if you insult him.
Yeah. What about what Duce is saying in the comments? Oil, and oil. You think it's about the resources of Iran?
It has always been about resources. That and the Israeli agenda. Because if you notice, nobody except Bibi Netanyahu was like, we need to get these guys.
But you do know they suggest that Israel is a major player in terms of being a state sponsor of terror. So, MAGA Reacts pointed this out earlier, is that the world is better off potentially without Israel, at least the Ayatollah at the helm.
The world will be better off if Bibi Netanyahu was not in a position of power, because every time that we go after somebody, you can guarantee you that there's some kind of Israeli intel that's giving them the suggestion saying, "Hey, we need to go after them because of such, 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 such."
Yeah, and while we're talking, I got the big screen on behind me. And apparently Iran is launching attacks right now on U.S. targets. So they're hitting, they're firing. I'm seeing the lights in the air. I don't know if this is over Israel or where this is at, but So the game is still going. This is not over with. For folks who say it's a conflict, this conflict is still continuing. So this is happening right now, apparently. So, I mean, shit, if it's just over resources, but what if there are thousands of Iranians that do find themselves in a more freer environment? Is it possible that Trump could inadvertently have done a good thing?
That's not going to be the case, because what we just did was give him a power vacuum. That's what we did. What's going to happen is every wannabe leader is going to come in with their group and they're going to try and take over. And it's going to be just like Iraq and Afghanistan all over again, where it's going to be a bunch of infighting. That area is going to destabilize and we're going to walk away because there's no profit to be made.
What about America? Price of fuel comes down. Would you give them credit for that? I mean, right now with Iran in shambles, or at least their government, I don't know, do we get in there? Because you mentioned resources. What if the price of fuel in America drops down to under $2 a gallon on average?
That will never justify it. That would never justify what we're doing. Remember, people are always okay with the prices, the consequences of something, as long as it doesn't affect them. Yeah. Like all these maggots that saying like, oh, it's a bargain if we only lost a few lives. Okay, it's only a bargain to you because the lives that were lost, they weren't connected to you in any kind of way.
That's the same Lincoln Riley argument. I've made that argument that, look, out of all of these millions of immigrants in this country, according to Trump, is 18 million. If you only got one or two Lincoln Rileys, that shows that they're not as rapists and murderers as you suggest. You should have a lot more victims. And their response is always, well, one is too many. But what you're saying is now when it comes to 3 American service personnel lost, they don't seem to have that same one is too many mindset.
Exactly. And Big Boss, the authorization of military force is not with this. This is beyond the scope of that. Stop trying to use that one-off strike as, oh, well, it's within. No, he's continuously striking. That means he's going beyond the scope.
Yeah, what I don't get is, if this is such a legitimate cause, why not go to Congress? I mean, if you feel
because he knew he would not get the votes. And Flame Train, if you're saying all this, how about you go sign up and you go put your life on the line since you're agreeing with us going and attacking all these people? That's the thing that gets me all the time. People who never serve are the main ones champion us going to war or fighting some kind of nation because you get to sit back and watch.
So what about that? In the comments, Cajun Boozer says Cuba is next. Do you believe Cuba could face? I mean, well, we already are sanctioning them into poverty now, or into a humanitarian crisis. But do you see Trump going and trying to, do something similar to Cuba coming up?
If this doesn't work out the way he is, he might try.
Wow. I mean, it's good. I mean, look, I'm not putting him in the same category as Hitler because he's not trying to occupy these nations, but he is attacking a bunch of countries very fast. Like we're fighting with a lot of countries very quickly, and similar to what they were doing in the Third Reich, we're not providing actual proof of the stuff we're alleging. Like the bringing of fentanyl to America on the drug boats, we didn't ever show any proof that they were carrying fentanyl.
Because MAGA does not care. As long as their guy says, yeah, that's what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, they're all for it. Everybody else that keeps bringing up counter intel saying like, hey, this is not what he says is not true. What's the first thing they say? That's fake news. It's made up. Like, you're just saying this to go against Trump. In fact, one of the things that he used about Iran was they were messing with the election.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you he'll bring that back up again to try and say, oh, I'm declaring martial law because Iran did this. And Flame Train, when you keep trying to talk about he's cleaning up Obama's mess, no, he's not. Because they were willing to deal. In fact, when Obama made the deal, they were keeping to their part. Trump came in and fucked that whole shit up.
Well, in my take on that, the notion that Obama made a bad deal with Iran and all of that, we covered this yesterday toward the end of the live, and I stated that even if Obama made a bad deal with Iran, once Obama represents America, Once we put our name on the dotted line, we sign and we agree to that deal, our country is beholding to that. The next president should not be able to just come along and say, you know what you agree with the last president, we're not going to honor that. Because Trump, I mean, he's making deals with countries or whatever the hell he's doing. I mean, if you come along and you just violate the deal the previous president made, why would anybody make a deal with you? I mean, you just showed me that the next guy can just toss it out. Trump to me made it clear that America's word is not even worth the paper it's signed on.
You also gotta remember, Tim, this is the guy who, on any deal that he makes, he's always shorting the other person in the deal. How many times he's gotten sued for not fulfilling his part of an agreement?
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but that's the goal if you're making a deal, is for you to come out on top. I mean, Trump has been a deal maker probably most of his adult life. I mean, that's the goal. Is to make.
And he's broken 90% of those deals.
That's the part. Yeah, see, that's the part I don't favor. If you're going, like, we made a deal with Iran that if they stop their nuclear program, if they stop their nuclear ambitions, rather, we would unfreeze a lot of their financial assets. That's the deal they made with Obama. And according to the other allies, our other allies in the free world, Iran was adhering to that deal. The difference is MAGA don't agree with that because Trump told them that Iran was not adhering to the deal. But Trump is alone in that. I guess go ahead.
With absolutely no proof.
Yeah.
With no proof that they're doing it. Just like these MAGA folks now in the comments spewing all the stuff. So, Obama went over the union's head. That deal was a joke and things like that. No, they were actually letting people come in and they were doing everything they were supposed to do.
Well,
you got this one guy now talking about Obama's always backing terrorist countries.
Well, like I said, that's kind
of bullshit.
Well, like I said, this is where the benefit of Trump, this is where I give Trump credit, is he can say stuff, and for MAGA, no proof is required. Just like the whole notion that Hillary Clinton started the birther stuff against Obama. That came from Trump. Nobody else has accused Hillary Clinton of doing that. There's not a bunch of videos floating around of Hillary Clinton saying Obama was born in Kenya. That's all Trump stuff. But when Trump started getting held accountable for it, to draw some of the attention off it, well, Hillary Clinton was doing it too. There's no solid evidence of Hillary Clinton ever doing that.
When it comes to MAGA, it's all about whataboutism. Like, every time you get a criticism on him, they'll try to bring somebody else to take some of that pressure off of him, even though, like, if there was more than one person doing it, that doesn't make it right.
Well, and I see in the comments somebody says you give him credit for lies. No, I'm giving him credit for the fact that he can say stuff to people, and that's all that's needed. Like I said, the Venezuelan drug boats, he didn't need to prove that. I mean, a lot of stuff he says about immigrants getting released from insane asylums and getting released from prisons. Does anybody know the name of a single insane asylum or a single prison that they came here from? Is there any evidence of any of that? The cats and dogs thing. I had folks, we had shows that guys was trying to show me people eating cats. There's no proof. He's able to say stuff without proof and people just believe it. I mean, I give him credit for being able to do that. So
you're right. And then you got these people talking about something, why do Iranians deserve to suffer? No one said that they deserve to suffer, but at the same time, no one's saying what we did was correct. Going in there, we basically threw gasoline on the fire.
Well, I'm going to be one to say that if Trump ends up freeing tens of thousands of Iranians, whether or not, like, I don't like a president unilaterally declaring war on the country. I don't agree with that. But if it kind of like what MAGA React said, if it ends up being a good thing, I'll give him credit for doing that. So I'll say the jury's still out on it, but I don't like a president on his own going in and taking out Maduro. Like, he's doing this over and over again without getting Congress. So now this is 2 world leaders you've taken out without getting any permission or anything like that. Call it a conflict, whatever you want to call it. I say that we haven't seen any other president doing this. This is not taking out a cartel leader or, you're taking out heads of state. You killed one of them now and no permission or anything. So to me, the level of power he has surpasses any president we've ever had. Would you agree that he's the most powerful president in history?
No, what I say is this is the most spineless Congress we had in history.
Well, same thing. Okay, so if Congress is spineless and they don't interfere with him, what's the difference between that and him being the most powerful? If they letting him do it, then he's the most powerful.
I can see if he had Congress backing him and like everything he was doing, Congress was for. But the fact that because what's about to happen in like 8 months. Once if he doesn't get the majority in everything that he's doing, they're going to come back and undo, and we're going to be back to square one. Actually, we'll be back further than square one because of all the damage that he's done.
Bro, to me, I mentioned this earlier. The thing about it is, if we're going to give Trump credit for trying to free thousands of folks in Iran living under oppression, how do we explain him befriending the folks in North Korea? If his goal is to free people, there's no explanation for that. If the goal is to free people who are oppressed, why is he befriending Kim Jong-un?
None of the MAGA people can actually explain that either. Because remember, they were talking about he's going to make peace with North Korea. And what is North Korea doing? In fact, once this stuff came out, didn't North Korea say that they were going to try to speed up their nuclear program?
No. But they already have nukes.
So if we're going like that, how come we didn't go after them when they were more of a threat than Iran was? Because remember, North Korea every few years, what's the first thing they do? They do tests off the coast of South Korea and Japan. So when is that going to happen? And for Flame Train, no, it's not, because the second he even thinks about doing something like that, then he's gonna piss off his buddy Putin.
What are you talking about?
He tried to say North Korea is next.
No, I don't think North Korea. I would agree with Cuba possibly being next, though, because Cuba's pretty. You talking about? Okay, you give Netanyahu Gaza and make it the Riviera of the Middle East. Cuba used to be like that. Havana used to be a high class place for elites. So I could see him. I could see him doing something like that.
And Mac reacts. Religion has nothing to do with that. Stop trying to put religion as the issue.
What do you mean?
Because he tried to say that. He tried to say North Korea doesn't have a crazy religion, and then China's keeping them quiet. When that's not the case at all.
No, China is not keeping North Korea quiet. I can tell you that. He's definitely not keeping North Korea quiet. I mean, North Korea, you talking about death to America. North Korea is doing that kind of stuff. I mean, they're firing. I mean, they don't talk about annihilating and destroying America. They don't say stuff like that. The only difference in Iran from North Korea is it's mostly coming from the heads of state in North Korea. In Iran, the citizens are saying things as well. It's not just the heads of state. The citizens in Iran don't like us. The citizens in North Korea don't really have a voice.
Not to mention, like, they keep trying to say, like, oh, they were more dangerous. In the last 10, 15 years, you've heard of Korea doing more shit than Iran.
It depends. It depends, because if you give Iran credit for everything that the Hamas, Houthis, and all these other, because they're claiming that Iran has funded all these terrorist groups. If you give Iran responsibility for all the stuff they did, then they've done a lot more than North Korea. Because North Korea.
So basically, you're saying that indirect action is what Iran is doing.
Yeah, that's what they're giving. Yeah, Iran, the actual nation of Iran, I don't know who they really have fucked with in the last decade or so. They really ain't messed with nobody. They're saying they're sponsoring other people to do it. So yeah, it's all proxy.
So what about Saudi? Because I know there was a couple times that Saudi back instances like that. We're not going after them.
No, we're not. And that's where the problem. That's where the hypocrisy is that we're picking and choosing when we're going to say you're a bad guy. There's a lot of bad guys out there that we're friends with. And at any given time, we can say, okay, well, we're going to put you on the bad guy list now, and now we're going to start fucking with you. But we do befriend a lot of bad guys. So that's where it's a problem, is just the out and out hypocrisy of it all.
Exactly. That's the thing that most of us are getting at. Is like Trump, for somebody who like dodge wars damn self, why is he so hard up on like attacking other people?
Money, 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 and because he can. I gotta move it on though, James, but I think a lot of this is due to I feel confident, and I'm going to make it clear, I don't have any proof or evidence that this is just me rambling off at the mouth. But I feel confident Trump is personally making gains from some of this stuff. Whether it's taking out Maduro, whether it's the middle, what is it, Riviera, the Middle East. I believe he is personally getting stuff out of this stuff.
Exactly. It's that cryptocurrency that he got, like that, he's getting paid through that.
Yeah. In Coffee Talk, you're right in the comments. I can't prove it, which is why I made it clear that I'm just rambling. I made it clear. I don't have any evidence of that. Just like a lot of you guys don't have any evidence that Hunter Biden was getting rich or 10% to the big guy meant Biden. You don't have any proof of it, but you believed it. This is what I believe. I got to move it on, James. Thank you.
All right, Tom.
Appreciate it. And by the way, you know what I'm going to ask? 120,000 make that happen. So looking in the comments, lowest approval rate ever, says Millennial. Well, we'll see. Midterms are coming up. We will see. And like I think we all tend to agree, Trump is not going to just let the midterms be. So there's going to be a whole lot of things to deal with when it comes to the midterms. Because I think the Trump administration is going to declare some kind of emergency, and we're going to get some type of altered voting due to whatever emergency Trump comes up with. But it's pretty clear that we're not going to vote in the midterms like we normally do. And there's a guarantee that the Trump administration is going to be accusing the Democrats of cheating. I think that's almost a guarantee. Now, it depending on how much altering Trump does to the election is where we could end up having civil unrest and all kinds of shit. I mean, if the interference with our way to vote gets too bad, I think you could have some really big problems, such as, let's say you interfere so much, places that are deep blue end up going red. And everybody in the city knows this was not going to happen until he did this or did that. I think there could be major problems. I think there could be some major problems behind it. But it's pretty clear that the Trump administration plans on coming up with some kind of emergency or something.
Right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls. November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. You're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
And that's based on nothing that's been proven. ICE deals with illegal immigrants. There's no evidence, no solid evidence that Trump would have won the 2020 election had there not been for illegal immigrants. That is just based on something they're yelling out. But what they're doing is they're creating a problem and then using that to justify some solution they created without proving any of this is rooted in anything. I mean, they have not proven whatsoever that illegal immigrants are the reason Trump had an election stolen from him. That's not been proven. And I see in the comments, I'm not going to be able to pronounce something in Machiavelli. Herbavelli, aka Machiavelli, says the 2020 election was rigged. How do you know? How do you know? This is where I have the issue. First of all, you got to prove the allegations you're making. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I don't like, and I'm even talking Dinesh D'Souza 2000 Mules, which I've seen a half dozen times and did many videos on. I don't like when they try to indicate a country with 300 and some odd million people, all Republicans are honest and only Democrats cheat. Anytime that comes out, I know that the investigation is not accurate. Anytime I hear that, I know there's some bullshit at play. You're going to tell me there's a way for the Democrats to cheat in an election and that not a single Republican used that method? You can switch Dominion voting machines from Trump to Biden, and not one Republican switched any votes from Biden to Trump? All of these different methods, dead people can vote. Only people in favor of the Democrat Party didn't. No Republican discovered that you can use these methods and cheat too. Anytime I hear that, I know something. I know foul play is at the helm. 300 and some million people, not one Republican, just all Democrats, huh? Anytime you see something like that, foul play is in session, because there's going to be some Republicans that are going to cheat. There's going to be some independents that's going to cheat too. It's never going to be just 100% Democrats in a nation this fucking large. I'm not even going to go to Republican areas. I'm sure they're all honest. I'm not even going to do an investigation in a single deep red county. I'm certain they just are all honest people. Anytime you see that, foul play is in front of you. We're Republicans and we're only investigating Democrats. Like what Steve Bannon is talking about. You think they're going to have ICE at polling places in Huntsville, Alabama? No, it's going to just be in liberal areas. The assumption is going to be that all Republicans are honest and only Democrats cheat. That's foul play. That's a biased investigation. I'm not saying maybe the Democrats did cheat. Maybe they did steal the election. But to suggest that 100% of the fraud is Democrats, no Republican is savvy enough to figure this out, huh? Not one of them cheated. Anytime that happens, yeah, somebody's not doing something. Let me go back to the box. Every single one that caught for fraud were Republican. And that's true too. A lot of Republicans actually did get caught and plead guilty to committing voter fraud. And the right didn't even say nothing about that. Just totally skipped over it, went right back to Democrat. Tim, you are on to something. Yeah, well, hopefully the judges will hear that. That's the first thing I would say in court when this stuff is presented. Like this guy claiming the 2020 election was stolen, he's literally trying to convince us that 100% of the fraud was Democrats. Now, he didn't find all this investigating you did, and you didn't find one Republican trying to cheat at all. You're literally talking about thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people cheated, and 100% of them are Democrats. That ain't believable. That's just not statistically likely to happen. That's not believable. Anyway, let me continue on. Dems say you need 2 IDs and a photo to shovel snow. 0 to vote. Hilarious. Let me just say this real quick before I go to the next caller, because you made that statement. If you find a Republican, and there are some, not all, but if you find a Republican that says something that's racist, the right don't want you saying the whole fucking party is racist. I want to make it clear, if you find a Democrat that doesn't know what a woman is, if it's okay to say the whole party don't know what a woman is, then you have no right to suggest the same when it happens to you. Same thing with this guy saying. Them say you need 2 IDs and a photo to shovel snow. It's a lot of Democrat states that don't even have snow. So clearly this is based on Mamdani in New York. So we're going to take what Mamdani said, tried to pass in that city, and indicate that all Democrats believe that. So you can't fault the left if they say that the right believes everything Nick Fuentes believes. This is what you're doing, right? This is what you want to do. You want to take one person and blame the whole party for it. Then you can't fault a Democrat that does the same thing you're doing, because you're opening up the door for that. Anyway, let me go back to the box. If you want to say every Democrat believes what Mamdani said, then yeah, you get the same treatment if it comes from your side. Flame Train. Good afternoon, Flame Train. Saw you in the comments.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on.
Man.
What am I getting wrong? Take your time.
The whole reason we having this whole conflict and nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room. European Union, like I was talking about, sanctioned Iran back in 2010, defunded them, took their money. 2016, Obama went over their head, gave them $1.7 billion in cash on pallets, and you can Google this, bro, and look it up. And
wait, the 1.7 billion in cash. I'm hearing that the money we gave Iran was their money that we were holding hostage. Where did the money come from in your eyes? It was
it was being held hostage because they were sanctioned.
Right.
But he went straight over the European Union's head and committed treason when he gave them that money back.
How is going over the European Union treason? Treason is something you do to your own country. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did it. He did it to us. Think about it. Look how long we've been in conflict with Iran since 1979.
How is going over the European Union an act of treason? Where you make that make sense?
Because he had no right to give them that back. He didn't have that authority.
That doesn't make it treason, no.
Yeah, it's considered treason under the Constitution. He could be
how is the European Union is not even addressed in our Constitution? If you going against the European Union has nothing to do with the definition of treason.
Point being,
go ahead.
He's the reason why we in this bullshit now. We always cleaning up his bullshit.
How did Trump bombing Iran and killing the heads of state in that country? Tell me how is that tying into Obama?
When they didn't have no damn money, they didn't have no money to fund no nuclear shit. Then when he gave the money back in 2016, all of a sudden they started doing the whole nuclear shit again.
So when they had no money.
That supposed deal that Obama made with them was total bullshit.
So when the people of Iran had no money, as you point out, how were the citizens living in that country when the country had no money?
I'm not talking about no money. I'm talking about they didn't have the money to fund their nuclear program. You take most of that country's money, the people that are in power, and they don't have any money to buy nukes and stuff like that, then hey, it takes them out of the equation. I'm just trying to look at it in a simple way. Back in 2016, when that happened, I told everybody for years this shit was going to end up happening. And as soon as this shit came all the way back around full circle, everybody standing there with their dicks in their hands looking stupid as fuck, making excuses.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when Trump got in there and said that Obama made a bad deal, I didn't hear the European Union agree with you. The European Union indicated that Iran was actually following the terms of that deal.
Yeah, just pull it up. You can read all the details.
I did. That's why I'm reciting it to you. I have read this stuff. I'm not hearing the whole treasonous deal we went against the European Union. I'm not hearing I don't know where the European Union was criticizing Obama for doing this. I didn't hear that.
Oh no, our country. All of our other leaders that were in place when his administration was in place was calling it treason.
No, but you said, well, people call any president treasonous. People thought Bush was treasonous. They thought Obama. People were saying Trump is. Every president that's in there, they're going to say that.
I agree that Bush was. And like, I've never always voted left and I've never always voted right. But I voted for Obama the first term. And then after I seen all the bullshit he was doing, I'm like, man, I can't vote for this stupid motherfucker again.
You think?
Then Trump.
Are you happy at Trump? We've had 2 terms of Trump. How you think Trump is doing so far?
I think he's doing fine. I mean, these people over there getting unalive just for protesting. They can't even protest in the streets. And bro, have you seen?
Are you talking about Minnesota? Are you talking about Minnesota or?
No, I'm talking about Iran.
Okay.
Have you seen all the Iranian people out there cheering in the streets after all this started going down? You seen all the videos all over everywhere?
I've heard that they've been blasting some of them, but here's what I don't understand, Flame. Since when have we gave a shit about Iranians? We would deport an Iranian right back into that chaotic environment in a heartbeat. We're deporting Haitians and Somalis back into environments where there's not even a government in play. We don't give a damn about them. So all of a sudden, because their leader is taking them out for protesting, we want to indicate we care about these people. We've shown via ICE we don't care nothing about you. If any of them protesters wanted to claim asylum and ask would America take them in, we would say no. So
I'll agree with you on that point, and I'll tell you why. Anytime anything like this has happened in history, it's because it's for the United States' interest. They want a certain person in power in these countries so they can control them. That's what it's all about, is control.
So why are we trying to pretend like so why are we trying to pretend like the fact that these guys could not protest is something we're concerned with? We don't give a damn if they got food to eat.
But well, it's obvious they kind of concerned with that too.
We're not concerned. We don't give a damn if they got. We just cut off. Wait, hold on. We just cut off funding to USAID. You know how many young kids with AIDS and shit are dying? We don't give a shit about them not being able to protest. We don't care if they can't eat.
Man, there's a lot of that goes on.
But a lot of that.
If we as a country, we're over here and we out here getting blasted in the streets like that, like they are, would you care?
So in other words, we care about people that don't have a right to protest, but we don't care about somebody who may be laying on the ground starving to death. That makes sense to you?
No, it don't make sense to me, because the Democratic Party has never been about our veterans or none of that other shit that you're talking about.
So you believe cutting off USAID showed you care about people?
That USAID was a bunch of malarkey.
What was it replaced with?
I can't even answer that question, Tim.
You can answer the question. Don't put nothing in the blanks, and you've answered it. There's nothing. We didn't replace it with shit. So anybody that was getting help from USAID is not getting helped anymore. You've answered the question. There's nothing to put there.
So who all? Tell me this, as far as USAID, because you're familiar with it. You seem like you are. Who all was benefiting from that?
The nations that were receiving the funding. I'm not saying that some of the leadership may not have been taking some of the money, it's administrative and shit. Just like when you donate money to wounded warriors and stuff like that. Sometimes all of that money doesn't go to the intended target, but plenty of it does. Plenty of USAID's funding was going to help people out. Now they're getting zero.
Yeah, a lot of it was like a lot of these other damn things that we've had, just a bunch of damn money laundering. And it's getting to the point to where you can't really trust the right or the left when it comes to a lot of things. And dude, I just try to sit back and I try to look at things from a perspective to where I'm not gonna be too hypocritical about things. But
how do you feel about Trump saying we're going to own Gaza? Do you favor that?
Man, hell no. That part I don't favor. But that's why I was telling everybody earlier, Obama wasn't the first black president. Hell, it was Trump. Trump does what the fuck he wants to do. He goes and takes
how does him doing what he want to do?
Ain't nobody gonna do shit to him.
How does him doing what he wants to do make him black, though?
Man, think about it.
I'm having visions of Christopher Columbus. What are you trying to tell me?
There was nothing about Obama that was black. The only damn thing he supported was a bunch of damn people wearing rainbow flags and shit and dildos on the top of their motherfucking head. He never did nothing for his own.
So you don't see nothing about Obama being black, but the dude with gold toilets and all white administration, he looking dark as midnight to you, huh?
The way he acts, the way he carries himself, yeah.
You think Trump? The dude, I ain't never put makeup on the back of my fucking head. What are you talking about?
No, look. Think about it like this, man. I grew up around all black people.
No, you didn't. Not to say no shit like that. You did.
Shit.
Only way you grew up around black people is you worked in a coal mine and they never came out of there. No more white people covered in coal.
We ain't got no motherfucking coal mines around here, man. Everybody where I grew up. We all grew up together.
Ain't no way in hell you grew up around black folks and you talking about Trump is like a black man. No way in hell.
Hell yeah. Tell me how Obama acts black. He don't.
Bullshit.
He acts like a gay ass white man.
Okay, give me we'll go to Obama, but give me first how Trump is acting. Give me what connects Trump to the black community in your opinion.
Well, the HBCUs that he funded forever.
Biden did that too.
Somebody has to go back to the drawing board ever again. And
Give me some more, because most black. Give me some.
That he created.
Give me something. Hold on. Give me. Wait. First of all, I know you're eager to talk about Obama. We're going to get to Obama. You're making it clear you're dying to talk about Obama. But I want to first of all understand 99.9% of black people don't have anything to do with HBCUs. I got 3 college degrees. I never even stepped foot inside of one. So what I want to ask you is, outside of the HBCUs, what is making you connect Trump to the black community?
All the opportunity zones, all the people he let out of prison that were black, compared to what Obama did for the black community. You can literally go down the list, but you ain't gonna find shit that Obama did. It was all for the gays.
Okay, first of all, universal health care helps out a lot of uninsured black people. Do you give them credit for that?
They helps out white trash people more than it does black people.
How do you know?
Man, they on that shit too.
So you're saying, so in other words, he gives an Affordable Care Act and all of the black. So you don't even count that as helping blacks out at all, huh?
Wasn't nothing affordable about it. It made all the damn prices go up.
No,
I don't give a damn about none of that shit because I pay for my own insurance. And I provide insurance for motherfuckers that work for me, so fuck all that shit.
Yeah. So you see Trump as more black than Obama?
Hell yeah.
All right. I don't even know where to go with that. That is so far out there. I don't even.
It's just a cliche thing.
It ain't. That's just a fucking lie.
People want to put a label on folks. People want to put a label on folks because of the color of their skin instead of the way they act. So I don't see black and white, purple, green, whatever the fuck color anybody is.
Does Trump even listen to hip hop music? I mean, does he black Trump?
I don't know. I ain't never hung out with the man.
Then how do you see you're defending the guy? You're defending the guy.
I do know he funded Jesse Jackson's run. I do know that all the black folks used to come to him when they needed to borrow money because the banks wouldn't lend them no money, and then he expected nothing in return. So
shit.
The black community.
So
literally just about his whole entire fucking life.
You know how many payday loan places service African Americans that want to borrow money? That don't make them black. Just because you loaning somebody some money don't make you one of them.
He's doing more for your community than.
Oh yeah, he's just another fucking business. That don't make him black.
So
you ain't doing.
What did Obama do?
Huh?
What did Obama do for you?
He actually was in the black community hanging around. I ain't done shit for black folks. You want to tell me I'm not black because I ain't done nothing for them personally?
No, I'm talking about from a leadership standpoint. We're talking about the most powerful man in the world. When we have a president, he could have made a difference if he really cared about his motherfucking people while he was in office. Why didn't he?
Because if he had got in there and did what you're suggesting, if he had got in there and started doing for blacks, doing for people in Chicago, you would have been the first person saying, we didn't elect the president of Chicago. We didn't elect the president of black people. We elected the president of America. Why are you what you're suggesting would have made him racist? What you're suggesting would have made him a racist.
I see what you're getting at. I see what you're getting at. But see, there's the other difference. Trump don't give a fuck if anybody calls him racist for what he does. Obama, I guess he just wanted to be all soft.
Well, but you do know
like he was this and that when he wasn't.
You do know Trump is the one that was posting pictures of Obamas as monkeys and putting sombreros on black people's heads. That makes him black, huh?
Biden and the Clintons.
Now you go, but you're not addressing Trump. You're jumping over to Biden and the Clintons. Trump is on there Trump is posting pictures of people as monkeys. That makes him black, huh?
Man, this shit was funny as fuck. I don't give a fuck who you are.
There's a lot of racism that people think is funny. People laughed at Archie Bunker. That don't mean it ain't racism.
I don't think it was. If you can't laugh at racism like we did back in the 80s and in the early 70s with like Red Fox and everybody else that used to do stand up comedy and everything else, and people need to stop being so goddamn soft. But at least you are admitting this racism, though. You just said we should lighten up and laugh at, but you are admitting this racism. I don't know if it was racism or not. Some people may portray it as that. Some people may not. But I thought the motherfucking shit was.
What about the video he tweeted out of the guy yelling white power? Should we have laughed at that too?
No, I didn't see that one.
You want me to show it to you?
Please.
Okay, because the guy does a lot.
I haven't seen that one.
I can't believe you ain't seen it because it's. I mean, he also tweeted out a video suggesting that we go around killing white people. 81% of white homicide victims are killed by blacks. All of this stuff has came out of his social media account. It just depends on where you get your news because they're only going to show you stuff favorable to Trump if you lean right. He don't posted a lot of awful shit about African Americans.
See, I don't watch a whole lot of news and I don't do a whole lot of social media. I run a business. I ain't got time for all that shit.
But somehow you're not watching a lot of news.
Sometimes
you're not watching a lot of news. You're not watching a lot of social media, but you got enough to say Obama's not black and Trump is. I don't understand that. Where are you getting that from then? If you ain't watching the news or social media,
that's just my opinion. A lot of people feel the same way.
They ain't black. I can tell you that much.
There's a bunch of them at all.
No, it ain't many. It ain't gonna be a lot of black folks that's gonna look at Obama and say he's not black and Trump is. That ain't coming from black people. Here's the video. 16 seconds long. This came from Trump's social media account.
Where's your white hood? Where's your white hood? Racist. White power. Yes, there you go. White power.
Damn, I ain't saying that.
Why would he post that? That came from his account. He just sent that out. Why?
How long ago was this when this
is during his first term. Why would he send this out?
Damn. I don't know. That's a good question.
Is it racist?
According to anybody these days, everything is fucking racist.
What about this video? According to you, what is this video?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what the fuck that's all about. Don't make no fucking sense.
What you have an opinion? I mean, you just seen this and your head just goes blank. I mean, you had that.
Yeah, because I've never seen it.
Okay, well now you have actually seen it, and you can Google it, look it up. It was a big story at the time.
Who was the person hollering white power?
Does it matter? It came from. Why would you post this as a president on your account?
I don't know. Beats the hell out of me.
If Obama posted this, I think you would be a lot more. You would be a lot more clear in your judgment of it. I just think because it's coming from Trump.
Obama didn't really get on social media like that. This first president we really had that's been on social media.
Yeah,
like
and he's using it. Yeah, and he's using it for evil. I mean, I can show you. I can show you the video.
A lot of times, I think he posts shit just to get a reaction out of people, just to piss people off. He's a master troll.
I believe that. I believe that. But the problem is he trolls, and then the right tries to act like they don't understand why people don't like. Well, you got Trump derangement syndrome. If you literally are trying to piss people off, don't get mad when they get pissed off. That's what you were trying to do. Let the man get the hate he's trying to earn.
Right. I don't too much let people piss me off on social media, man. And I've been in the industry. I've been in for 6 years, so I'm on every platform there is. I can give a fuck less about a troll.
Well,
I just be letting them talk.
But the fact that you could watch this video and not come to a conclusion on whether it's racist or not, though, is...
Well, somebody screaming white power, yeah, that's racist. Yeah. It's obviously racist.
And the president would take that, and then the president would take that and put that on his account so that the world sees it.
If he put it on his account, it seemed like he would add a little bit more context to it so I could fucking understand. It confused me.
He didn't add any context to it. He did not. He just posted this.
Confused the hell out of me.
It ain't. I don't see what's so confusing about it. It's pretty clear what it is. I mean,
what's the difference? What's the difference in somebody screaming black power like the dude down there in the comment section?
Historical precedent. Historical precedent. Yeah, there's not a historical precedent of people yelling black power and going around doing bad shit to white people. There is an historical precedent of people yelling white power and doing bad shit to black people. Historical.
That shit don't happen. That shit don't happen no more.
Well, no matter if it happens, it doesn't matter if it happens no more. It's a historical precedent. I mean,
yeah, it's just like the historical precedents that black people can't be racist. That's total bullshit.
Yeah, that's a deflection to a different topic. I agree with you on that. Blacks can be racist, but now you're deflecting to something else. That doesn't take away.
Deflected, but still ties together.
Well, but the problem is you watch this And you actually could not ascertain whether this was racist or not. You were like, I got, this is clear as day.
Oh yeah, I said, yeah. That's racist.
Originally you didn't. Originally you didn't.
Initially, no, I didn't. I was confused as hell because I ain't never seen the shit. I was just like, well, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I'll just tell you this. Trump has posted and said a lot of stuff. It's just each time this stuff has happened, because when he posted this, Tim Scott, the same guy who told him to take the ape video down, Tim Scott also told him this was racist. Take this down. When he posted this, I mean, why does one man keep posting this racist shit? I mean, is the goal? Let's say he's not racist. Are you just trying to maybe make people think you're racist?
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
You can't never tell with him. He literally tries to get in people's heads, and he does a good job at it. I have to give him that.
Well, if you get in people's head, then you can't fault them for what comes out of it. You want to post racist shit, it's gonna lead people to think you're a racist shit. I mean, that's just what he's doing.
I still don't think that whole video with Biden and Obama and everybody was racist. That was AI. And you can't pick where the faces.
How do you know
those videos?
I get your opinion. I get your opinion about the ape video. What did Trump say about it?
He said he wasn't apologizing for it.
Right. So how do you know he didn't mean it to be racist? He didn't give you shit to work on. You got to figure it out your damn self.
Yeah, we all just have to have our own opinion about it. Just come to a conclusion.
So because he posted something like that, didn't apologize, didn't do anything at all to clear it up, you can't blame anybody for taking that as he's being a racist piece of shit then. I mean, why would he post that and then say nothing to clear it up?
You seen all the times since he got in office the second time where him and Obama have been in places together rubbing the elbows and shit like that?
No. No, I haven't.
If
where is him and Obama been together rubbing elbows? What are you talking about?
You didn't. Where were they sitting at when fucking Kamala was sitting in a row right there in front of them, and they was sitting there talking shit, and they was just being chummy.
They were at a funeral. Somebody who was that? Right. Was it McCain? Somebody died. That was a funeral. Whose funeral was that?
Yeah,
a funeral. What do you expect them to do? I mean, that's the only time they've been in the same place as at a funeral. They haven't been in the same place anything else. Yeah, Jimmy Carter's funeral. They were at a funeral. Yeah, John McCain disinvited them. John McCain told them, don't even show up at my funeral.
God damn. Yeah, well, John, I remember all that controversy too. I remember that shit. Yeah, but goddamn, I didn't see him at that KKK funeral, old Boyd, but goddamn Biden was there, wasn't he?
Okay, well, I don't think you realize that Senator Boyd, who died, I think, in either 2010 or 2013, the former KKK member.
Wizard.
Yeah, I don't think you realize that several years before he died, he had atoned for what he did, apologized. The NAACP, Jesse Jackson, all of them were at that funeral. Well, just Biden. All of them were there.
They were there too.
Yes, they were. Your side just like your side didn't show you this video. Your side don't tell you about that stuff.
God damn.
Yeah. A lot of black people were at the video. A lot of black people were at the funeral of Senator Byrd because he had atoned for that. But they just give you the part of him being in the KKK, and then they skip all the way to his death and don't cover any of the shit in the middle to make the picture look right.
Have you ever sat back sometimes, because I catch myself doing this, and scratch your head?
God damn it, I'm doing it right now listening to you. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm doing it right now while listening to you.
But look, and just wondered if they all sitting back doing all this shit as theater, and we just sitting here watching this shit, looking like a bunch of dumbasses arguing amongst each other. Have you ever thought that to yourself?
I'm doing that while you're giving me these statements on these videos, man. I gotta go though. Flame, you're always welcome back. Don't ever think I don't want to bring you up. I saw you in the comments. We don't run from guests. You're free to come back with your opinion anytime, man. Thanks for coming through.
Appreciate you.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program. Certainly I missed a few. Ask him why the racists like Trump, says SGB. I didn't get a chance to ask him that, but The answer is simple. They believe that Trump has a lot more in common with them, a lot more in common with their ideology. But a lot of folks do suggest that it's the Democrat Party that's racist, which I guess if you're black and racist or Hispanic and racist, but if you're a white person and you don't like people of color, there's no way in hell you're going to go to the LGBTQ loving party that's putting black people in positions like the VP. And so, that would make no sense at all. If you're white and racist, you're going to lean right. You're not going to lean left. Now, if you're one of the other groups and you're racist, then maybe we could talk about it. But yeah, if you're a white racist person, you're absolutely going to lean right in our current environment. 100 years ago, you would have been a Democrat. But 2026, you're going to be a Republican. Looking in the comments here, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. That was an interesting call. I'm sure I got plenty of clown emojis to go with it. Someone has a different opinion and you just call names and I'm not yours, says, didn't we vote for that? Flower of Christ, you said someone has a different opinion and you just call names and I'm not yours. Isn't that, we voted for that, right? I mean, isn't that what the president does? I mean, kind of late to that one. Birds of a feather flock together. I agree with that. You don't know your history, homie, says Antonio Harris, and you'd have to clear that one up. Tim, you try to be fair, but when you get on your party side, you get silly like the rest of them, and I'm sick of it. I'll see you next time. GC, David, whatever the case may be. Look, you're hearing an opposing opinion. If you think me indicating that somebody yelling white power is racist is wrong, then yeah, I can see where you would not want to be around. Because yeah, I totally disagree with that. Tim, great job on allowing everyone to speak. Thank you there, JT. By the way, tap the screen if you're watching us on YouTube. Smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. It does bring in more MAGA. You know what I always say. So if you're following us on TikTok, Instagram, or Substack, feel free to follow the program. But if you're watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. What policy is the Democrats are running on 7 months away? You already know what the Democrats stand for. They're pro-choice, minimum wage increase, a host of things for the working man. A lot of the entitlements you guys don't like, immigration reform, tuition forgiveness, the same shit you've been chastising them from day one. They're an ally of the LGBTQ community. The stuff you guys don't like. That's what they're running on. Pro-democracy, all of that stuff. That's the stuff they're running on. And they're going to probably run on the same shit again. Let me go back to the box. What did you know that the Republican Party freed the slaves? Yeah, we know that. The Democrat Party was the party of the Confederate South in slavery. The Republican Party was the progressives at the time, and they did free the slaves. But as you can tell in modern times, which is what I always ask, is why would the Republicans, the Yankees, the Democrats were the Confederate South, they were the Confederates. Why would the Republicans engage in the bloodiest war in U.S. history? Because more Americans died in the Civil War than any other war we've ever been in, obviously because both sides were American. So more Americans died in the Civil War than any other war. Why would the Republican Party fight against the Democrat South? And now in 2026, they're renaming bases after the Confederates they fought against, defending Confederate statues, people that were killing them. How many times do you see folks fighting to name shit after the enemy? Fighting to put up statues of the enemy. You don't even hear the Republican Party talking about statues of Yankees. They were the fucking Yankees. They actually were the Yankees. But yet you go to Republican gatherings, all you see is Confederate shit. So obviously a switch of something happened. You don't see any Yankee symbols at Republican gatherings. It's all shit that represents the enemy. So I think that is probably the clearest indication that some kind of switch happened. And I know a lot of folks on the right don't like to admit a party switch took place. So I don't even go into the party switch. I just tell you, why the hell are they wearing all the enemy's clothing? I mean, that's literally like going to France and everybody is wearing swastikas and German shit. Like, why would you be doing that? That makes no sense whatsoever. Why are you putting up statues of Eichmann in the middle of Paris? That's what the Republicans are doing in modern times. But yeah, well, we freed the slaves, but you sure don't seem like you really liked it. You don't seem like that in modern times. You guys were Yankees. You're not even embracing them anymore. You sound down with the Confederates now. Anyway, let me go back to the box. And I see in the comments, Nate says, stop lying. There was no party switch. Yeah, okay. All right. Go ahead and hold your Confederate statue and tell me how much the parties have remained the same. Abraham Lincoln was a liberal because the entire Republican Party was liberal. They wouldn't let Abraham Lincoln in the party now. No. Well, here's the difference. What people only talk about Republican versus Democrat during that time. What they don't tell you is the Republican Party during the Emancipation era were considered progressives, and the Democrats were called conservatives. That's why you never hear conservative versus liberal or progressive being brought up in this stuff. It's always Republican versus Democrat, because the conservative party wants to keep the country in a traditional manner like the founding fathers intended. That's what conservatism is about. Progressives are the ones that always want to push the envelope. You know, the Constitution needs to be changed, or what about these people that were being disenfranchised, or what about the progressives are always seeking to push the envelope, which is what you see with the LGBTQ community and feminism and things like that. That goes against the way the country was set up traditionally. So progressives and conservatives is what you really should be talking about, not Republicans and Democrats, because the Republicans freeing slavery, which goes against what the founding fathers set up, that was progressive to do that at the time. But they don't discuss that. Anyway, looking in the comments, this is the reason why we knew it about humankind 1,000 years ago. I don't know what you're saying there, but we'll go back to the box and continue on with Eugene. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Eugene, it's a military tactic to free the slaves. Okay, I don't know what that means, but like I said, if you were a Yankee and all you're doing now is defending Confederates, that does not look right. Eugene, good evening. Okay, apparently Eugene is not there. We'll move on. And tap the screen, folks. Get your guy on up to 150. 150. We can make that happen if you let your thumbs not be lazy. Tap the screen. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Stick, good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. I'm in the trenches with my viewers as usual. Iran, do you see what we're engaged in as an actual war or some sort of conflict?
Nah, I ain't no wordplay, man. That's a war, man. Like, even though it's big brother beating up little tiny third cousin, not even little brother. Like, yeah, nah, that ain't no good, Tim. That's a war.
Why do you believe it? And somebody in the coffee talk, you said, do I follow Officer Tatum? I watched some of his videos. Yeah, I watch. I don't like the Hodge twins. They're a little goofy, but yeah, I watched some Officer Tatum. But what I want to ask you, why do you think, Stick, that so many folks refuse to call it a war? They're calling it a conflict.
Because they don't want to say that he caused a new war, even though he ran on no new wars. That's the whole thing. Like, it's confusing to me that people don't understand and know that that was their money that Obama gave them because they were sanctioned. And being that they were sanctioned through oil or whatever the case may be, they were making money, but they weren't able to receive it because we blocked it. And Obama like, man, so we just gonna ruin their country just because whatever, let me make a deal with them. Made a deal. Trump came in, unallowed the deal.
Yeah, killed the deal. So, I mean, my last caller referred to that as treason, which was a strong sense of the word. I mean, he was suggesting what Obama did was treason, but I mean, like, do you agree with what I'm suggesting? That when Trump came in and killed that deal, he also killed the validity of the United States word by showing the world that the next president can just get out of any deal the last president made.
For all the people in here, I ain't King Finn, but I hear you. You need to hear this. Trump is the old new white man.
What the hell does that mean?
Okay, he's old in age, but he's also old in ideology. But to some of these new cats like Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes, he's old again. But it's like he's bringing back that new concept, but it's an old concept. So he's the old new white man. That's it. Yeah, they back like, you remember how light skinned brothers came in and went out? Yeah, like that. I had to say it like that so you can understand what I meant.
Well, how about if Trump is the old new white man, as you put it? How about the fact that some of the old traditional values may be good for America compared to what we have now? Is he coming in, bringing ways that may make this country great again, as he would suggest?
The country, from our end, hasn't been great. So, no. And then on top of that, we see how it's going. We have a lot of feelings, right? And the feelings that I'm talking about ain't because he said something. It's not because he's acting like an asshole. It's actually because the economy makes us feel a certain type of way. It's actually because groceries and all this other gas and shit. Oh yeah, gas. Hey, it ain't gonna be cheap no more. It ain't gonna be cheap no more.
Well, Trump, wait, before you go into all that, though, Trump says we're currently involved in the best economy in American history.
Oh yeah. In his fantasy world, but everything is his fantasy world. Because again, the man is priceless in coming out and telling you a bunch of bullshit when you over there feeling the cold, you feeling the 8-inch snow, while he's in Boca Raton or some shit down here in Florida with me. We ain't feeling that bit of ice. We ain't feeling that bit of none of that shit. He telling you good. Trust me. Yeah, you good because you down there with a spray tan on, sitting on Mar-a-Lago, chilling, where everybody else freezing their ass off.
Wow.
And that's why they need to give him a big fuck you, man. Like, seriously.
Well, wait a minute. What about with this Iran war or conflict or whatever folks want to call it? What about the notion that you could be bringing tens of thousands of folks out of an oppressive regime? I mean, what Trump has done could actually free tens of thousands of folks.
Okay. So what you telling me is tens of thousands could be free in another country, while 350 million is still fucking in cages and fucking just going through it with the what do they call them, fascist ass motherfuckers? That's what you telling me? So free tens of thousands of people, but enslave and fuck up 350 of your own.
Well, wait. First of all, 350 million Americans do not feel that Trump is enslaving them, though. Some of them feel like he's doing a great job.
It's 75 million. I get it.
You think 75 million Americans feel that Trump is enslaving them?
Yeah.
How?
The one who voted for Ms. Harris.
How is
every day, either somebody in his administration or he himself is out there doing shit that's unpresidential and or trying to take people's First Amendment right away. Jimmy Kimmel, like
you said enslaving those things. Stick, I know you didn't vote for Trump. Do you feel like he's enslaving you? You feel like you're a slave?
I feel like those peoples at those camps are slaves. I feel like when they talking about they finna put incinerators and shit like that in big buildings so they can all that's you trying to get rid of shit and that's real and that's what they doing. I think it's in Ohio or some shit where they trying to do this shit in.
Wait, are you suggesting they're going to, because I know they're buying they're buying huge warehouses to turn them into places to store illegal immigrants, I guess processing centers or whatever. You're throwing the word incinerator in there. So you're starting to talk like Buchenwald or Auschwitz. Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, because again, it was said that he thought that the H-man was a brilliant and he did good things. But this is where we're headed. That's why
that's why ICE is the way that they were.
Because that's where we're headed. That was the special. That's the special.
I know the Trump administration wants to get rid of a hell of a lot of immigrants, but you really think that they would incinerate them?
I think that they're gonna do whatever Trump tells them to do. I think that.
Do you think Trump would say so? Do you think Trump would ever give such an order?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think Trump is the type of person to where as long as he can stay in control. As long as he
wait, Stig. Do you realize what you're saying? Let me ask you, I gotta ask you folks, by way of yes or no in the comments. You guys are hearing this conversation. Yes or no, do you think Trump would be capable of rendering an order to incinerate human beings? Yes or no in the comments? That's horrible. Yes or no in the comments. Who thinks that?
That's what his big brother did. That's what he's gonna do.
Who is his big brother?
Double H. Hell.
Incinerate human. You think Trump is that bad of a person?
And MAGA, if y'all listening, y'all ain't nothing but hey, you ever seen Captain America?
I may have. What about it?
Okay. Did you see Captain America where Hydra came out, where they had done infiltrated the government and they was all in sync and all in line and they were trying to get at Captain America and he was actually the one actually trying to save America?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's called Avengers Civil War, I believe.
But getting to Trump, you really think the guy would incinerate a human being?
Yeah, Hell Hydra. That's a MAGA. Hell Hydra. That was some shit that was out of Nazi Germany, right? And their asses was all in the United States government on this movie. The goddamn Captain America. I'm sorry, God. But anyway,
seems like Melania would step in and tell her husband not to do something that wild.
No, she ain't finna do nothing. All she's trying to do is make sure that Putin don't put her ass back up there on the big screen showing her goods. She's shutting the hell up.
He's on good terms with his kids. I mean, his daughter. I mean, it seems like they would tell him, Daddy, don't, man, you really think this guy is like really evil.
Listen, the kids are like this. I want to act just like my daddy when I get that power that he got. Yeah. Only the daughter, the one that's with the Israeli, what's his name? Kushner? His name?
You said with Jared Kushner and Ivanka.
Yeah. That daughter right there, she ain't really feeling him. She want to be rich and she want to do the whatever, like the Hollywood type stuff. But she really don't want to be around him like that.
Well,
she changed her name and all.
Yeah, because they are setting a legacy. So if Trump ever engages in anything close to what you're talking about, her name is tainted too. I mean, all of you guys are tainted.
She changed her name. That's why she changed her name, especially like after he lost and he went to doing all that, and then he was a part of.
She changed her name from Trump. Ivanka's no longer a Trump.
No, she's a Kushner now.
Wow, and she didn't hyphenate it?
No.
Damn.
She's a Kushner. And that's the point. Like when that went down, that was a problem. She's seen it. She was the one that was telling him, hey, you need to actually get out there and tell them stop this shit. She was one of them that told him.
That speaks volumes when your daughter takes on her husband's name when you're as big and powerful and well known as he is. I mean, that name has value to it. For her to drop that name, that speaks volumes. I mean, yeah, she wants a little bit of anonymity by going as Kushner. I mean, that says a lot.
But what they do is they every MAGA accusation is a MAGA confession.
Well, MAGA React said she did not change her name.
Okay. Right. MAGA Reacts is an Egyptian, right?
Yeah.
He's an Egyptian, right?
Okay.
But I guarantee you, if his ass went to Egypt, they'd be probably calling him white man. They white man. Don't nobody care. And then he got the nerve to talk about gangster grandma. He need to go sit down. He don't know nothing. You easily get him to turn himself into a goddamn pretzel. Sometimes MAGA Reacts is best to just be quiet and say, I don't know.
And here, how about this criticism I'm getting here? Donk says that's her husband. That's what she is supposed to do, dummy. He's talking, but let me just say something like this. If you're a Kardashian, you keep that fucking name. When Kim Kardashian got married, you don't drop a name that's worth millions of dollars. I don't give a fuck who your husband is. You don't do nothing like that. She dropped that name for what my caller is saying. I don't give a shit. If you hyphenate, you keep a name that's worth millions of dollars in popularity. You don't just drop Trump if that's your last name. You can try to make it sound legit, but it ain't.
No, listen though. She was already married. See, this is what people missing. She was already married. Her name should have been Kushner. She didn't drop the goddamn name till after like January 6th.
Oh.
She was tired of that shit. Just like we tired of it. We're ready for his ass to either croak or get the fuck out of there. Yeah, she was tired of it too. God damn it, Dad. We going to talk show. You're talking about we got sex in common. What the fuck you got going on? It's like Lois getting mad at goddamn Peter Griffin. Like, no, shut up, Peter, no. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, that is crazy though. That a name like Trump, you don't drop that. You just don't. That name is worth money. In fact, like Meghan McCain, John McCain's daughter, she's got married. She didn't check. You don't drop a name that has all that value to it. So yeah, trying to say she got married.
Not only that, it's like if you ask me about him in Iran, he didn't get Congress approval, and apparently, from what everybody's trying to act like they didn't know, we all knew that those ships was out there.
Yeah. We
all knew where those ships was headed. So why the fuck are we waking up acting so fucking surprised that this shit happened? What are we doing? Is everybody naive? I'm talking about Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. Was everybody naive? Did you just think that they were just out there just selling the ocean blue, doing musicals and shit? No, they was headed over there to do what they just fucking did. So Congress, y'all fucking been new. Stop that bullshit.
Yeah, to me, I've said this before, is that once we put all those assets in that region, it was not about negotiating. We were going to attack them. We're not going to spend billions of dollars or millions of how much it costs to have all those ships over there and all of that shit and not do nothing about it. The minute we sent all that over there, their fate was sealed. They were going to get attacked. It was just a matter of when.
Exactly, and that's the point. And then again, you got other destroyers that were out there that wasn't part of the United States. Remember the Chinese destroyer that was out there riding along next to the Russian destroyer, and they was doing exercises and all of that stuff. We don't even know where that shit is at anymore. I heard somebody was talking about that. So it's like, now that we got 10% of our shit over here, that 10% was somewhere else. That shit that they left is vulnerable. No matter who it is or who it was protecting, whether it was us or somebody else, now they're vulnerable. Thank you, President Trump, you dumbass motherfucker.
Has he done anything right for the country, in your opinion?
I told you, other than warp speed, fuck no. And then he didn't even really do it. He just was the guy that was in charge. He was not in a lab helping them fucking fix a vaccine. But I'm still saying, because he was the president, that's pretty much the only thing.
Is there anything he could do to win you over as a voter?
If he go on ahead and, you know what I'm saying, take that last cheeseburger, I'll vote for him then. I'll vote for him.
So he has to die.
Yeah, just go on ahead. I held him like they held Caesar. You know what I mean? They didn't like Caesar when he was alive, because everybody put one in his back. But as soon as he left, he was a hell of a man.
So nothing at all. It couldn't pass a bill, legislation, couldn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Being real. Okay, you want me to be serious? If Trump, because this is what everybody wants. So I'm gonna give it to my people how we want it. If Trump gave everybody $100,000 that was of African American descent, then I would vote for him while he's alive as reparations. Now,
And
when
that
y'all dumb
obviously ain't gonna
motherfuckers go
happen.
out there and do what y'all $100,000 is on y'all. But I'm gonna buy me a piece of land and get me a house, at least a down payment on the house.
You give everybody a hundred. You give every African American $100,000. You won't be able to buy any land for $100,000. I mean, the price of land. If everybody got money like that, the price of land gonna go up. You ain't that 100,000 ain't gonna be enough.
Well, give me some land and $100,000. Fuck it.
All right, Stick. We can't even get Trump to appoint a black cabinet member. He certainly ain't gonna support reparations. I mean, he want to get rid of Juneteenth and didn't even address Martin Luther King Day. Reparations is a long way off.
Look, and that's your pushback on another Democrat, right? Well, you're a liberal, but I'm just saying that's your pushback to me because I already know that. But you saying that to say, yeah, but he won't do that. Exactly. He ain't gonna never do that. I know he'll never give me $100,000. I know he'll never give me my 40 acres and a mule. He ain't gonna do shit for me. So that's why I said I hope he take another cheeseburger to the dome and go on and leave us alone.
I get your logic. Stick, I gotta move it on, but I get your logic. Appreciate you coming in, man.
All right, Tim.
Thank you. Always. Looking in the comments, I knew he would say money. Well, for me, I don't think there's any chance of African Americans ever getting reparations. Certainly not from a conservative government, but probably not from most liberals either. But if you were, because people say, well, what would you do? I wouldn't even support, not support, I wouldn't suggest money to begin with. I would say the things that you prevented African Americans from getting, which hurt them hurt them for generations. Education, land and property, and there's a third one I'm thinking of. But education was something that because these are things that make you more likely to generate wealth and things like that. But I would say certainly education. And I would say land and wealth. I guess the other one is we couldn't open up businesses and things like that. So I would suggest, and like I said, I know this is a pipe dream because, I don't even think, they don't even want stuff named after African Americans. You see Trump taking, bases and things and naming them. I mean, you're not going to get anything from the Trump administration. But I will say, because I think Harriet Tubman was going to be on a $20 bill. And he stopped that in his first administration, too. That doesn't get talked about much. But after Obama, they were going to put Harriet Tubman's face on the $20 bill to replace Jackson that's on there. And the Trump administration came in and said something was wrong with something and delayed it for like 8 years. And you've never heard of it again. So the Trump administration stopped that in his first term. But when I say property, okay, if you're African American and you buy property, we'll give you either a discount on property taxes or no property taxes for a certain period of time. Same thing with education. Okay, when you go to school, you don't have to pay for your education, for maybe up to a bachelor's degree or something like that. Not loans. I'm talking about not have to pay at all. I'm talking about stuff these are things that the African American community had no access to. Same thing, you want to open up a business. Maybe we don't charge you for a permit or something like that. So now you're not giving them cash and you're not giving it to people who are going to sit around and buy a new, some more rims for their car or a new pair of Jordan sneakers. It's only for people who are already trying to better themselves. I would say something, but like I said, literally anything you give African Americans for reparations, there's going to be a huge amount of white resistance to it. I don't care what it is. Just simply saying I'm sorry got a hell of a lot of resistance. There were people that were like, you shouldn't even apologize for it. So going into the realm of reparations is laughable. There are going to be plenty of people that are going to be against it. So it is what it is. Because some folks do believe you should never have given them freedom to begin with. I mean, didn't Charlie Kirk say how much better? And I think Rush Limbaugh also said something like that there was less crime and all of that during slavery. So some folks believe you shouldn't even have given them freedom to begin with, much less give them reparations. Fuck all that. Keep them enslaved. You don't in a lot of states and universities, huh? The rich getting richer. Trump is for the 1%. I do agree with that. Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill was to occur in 2028. I know Trump has stopped that. That ain't gonna happen. You don't even hear him talking about it no more. You don't even hear that even being mentioned anymore. That's not gonna happen under Trump. You're not gonna see Harriet Tubman on the face of any money. That's just not gonna happen. How many glasses for some of these comments? Tap the screen, get us on up to 160, if you will. Ronnie, if are you talking about Social Security? That's our own money. Oh, you guys are talking amongst each other. The wealthiest 1,000 people own 5% of the wealth. The bottom 60% of the people. You want capitalism. We don't want socialism and shit like that. We don't want capitalism. Socialism is a system that tries to pursue fairness. Capitalism does not. You want capitalism, you're going to have a very unfair playing field. And it's going to be tailored toward the wealthy. That's what capitalism is. They're going to use their money to capitalize off of opportunities. They can lobby the politicians to get more and more laws and benefits their way. That's what you want. That's what you get. Like right now, the Trump administration is suggesting that Americans are hurting because of the insurance companies. That's what's going to happen in a capitalist environment. The only way you're going to stop that is to pass socialist laws that limit what they can and can't do. You don't want government regulation. You want free market. You want capitalism. This is what happens from that. They're going to find ways to rip people off. That's what capitalists do. They want all the money. So you can't complain when you get what you actually ask for. We want capitalism, right? This is capitalism. Wealthy people are capitalizing off of opportunities. That's what you kind of wanted. So it is what it is. Only presidents on our money that make a difference, that made a difference. I don't even think most American citizens could look at our money and tell you how big of a difference the presidents that are on there made. I mean, George Washington, obviously, Thomas Jefferson on a $2 bill, you might be to easily cite him being part of the Declaration of Independence. But then in Lincoln with freeing the slaves on the 5. But then when you start talking about Hamilton on the 10, most Americans can't cite what he done that was all that great. Same with James Madison on the 20 and Grant on the 50. I mean, and of course, Ben Franklin on the $100 bill. He stole a lot of people's fucking inventions. He got credit for a lot of stuff that he didn't do. So, I mean, I don't know about them all mattering, as you say. I don't know about that. And then I think Thomas Jefferson, in regards to the Epstein type shit, didn't Thomas Jefferson impregnate a 14-year-old? Had multiple kids with her. She was part black, so he couldn't even own up to what he did. He's on the $2 bill. I don't know what's so great about that. Which is one of the things I talked about when MLK Day came around, and folks started talking about. And I've never seen I've never seen Martin Luther King fall out of favor so much as I had in the last year. Last MLK Day last month, now 2 months ago in January, people were talking about the guys that Charlie Kirk said this too. How MLK was an awful person and all of that. And I'm thinking, like, Martin Luther King ain't did shit that most of our founding fathers and people we idolize have not done as well. They all were womenizers. Some of them owned people. Were, as I mentioned with Thomas Jefferson, impregnating kids. How the hell does Martin Luther King out of that bunch get the criticism for being a bad guy? I mean, we literally elected Trump, who went from wife to wife to wife to. How the hell does Martin Luther King stand out? Like, Charlie Kirk was an avid Trump supporter. How could you go after Martin Luther King for womanizing? You giving out red hats at your gatherings. That made no sense to me. I don't know where Charlie Kirk was coming from there, but you never got asked that during his debates when he was talking about how awful Martin Luther King. Like, what did he do? What, you're supporting Trump, so give me what you're saying that Martin Luther King did this so bad, because you're supporting Trump. I don't understand that. I still don't understand that. But anyway, I do appreciate 150,000. I do got to step away. Follow the program if you're watching us on Instagram, Substack, or TikTok. Give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. But nevertheless, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Boy, Tim the Handsome Liberal, I got to go. Take care.